three. Give me just a minute. No need to be unkind. Even I got a limit. One problem at a time. Yeah, these hills are getting high. The way I'm going, but my wheels are all in line. Yeah, got to keep on rolling. I'm a darkness reaching for daylight. I'm a spring that needs to unwind. I'm a wreck, but everything's alright. Just as long as I can medicate my mind. Medicate my mind. Everybody in a hurry, heading down their own track. Ain't gonna worry, let it roll right off of my back. I'm a stranger to this world, but I keep on growing. Life will try to put you out, yes it will, but I keep on glowing. Yes I am. I'm the darkness reaching for daylight. I'm a spring that needs to unwind. I'm a wreck, but everything's alright. Just as long as I medicate my mind.
Morning, everybody. Grab your coffee, grab your
I'm the darkness reaching for daylight. I'm a spring that needs to unwind. I'm a wreck, but everything's alright. Just as long as I can medicate my mind. Medicate my mind. Oh, yeah. Hey,
What's up, everybody? Good morning to all. Coffee's almost done. Second pot's in the making. So, we'll throw another little tune out there. Good to see everybody. I seen Nikki in chat, so hopefully we can get an update. Maybe they dropped one this morning. Maybe they have some good luck. Let's see. Hey, we'll just go on with the smiling. So, I heard the beeping of the coffee pot. Getting coffee. Grab your coffee, grab your tea. Here's a little tunage, and I'll be with you in just a couple minutes.
1, 2, 3. Well, you say you got the blues.
On smile.
You got a hold in both your shoes. Yeah. Feel alone and confused. You gotta keep on smiling. Just keep on smiling. Say you're about to go insane. 'Cause somebody's playing games with your mind. And they say that you're to blame. Everybody gotta keep on smiling. No. Keep on smiling. Keep on smiling through the rain. Laughing at the pain. Growing with the changes until the sun comes out again. You gotta keep on smiling through the rain. Laughing at the pain. Growing with the changes. Keep on singing this refrain. Where you singing in a honky-tonk cafe? Ain't nobody hearing what you play. That's too bad, 'cause you're too busy drinking anyway. Yeah, you gotta keep on smiling. Just keep on smiling. Where you at? Find a piece of land. Gonna settle down. Came from a city boy to laid back country man. I'm gonna try to build my life up with my hands. And just keep on smiling. Yeah, keep on smiling. Keep on smiling. Laughing at the pain and the pain and the pain. Going with the changes until the sun comes out again. Gotta keep on smiling through the rain. Keep on laughing at the pain, pain. Going with the changes. Keep on singing. I'm gonna play my harmonica like this.
Man, getting that jam on. Can't beat harmonica. It lifts the soul. What's up, everybody? Sunday. Whoop. You know what I'm saying? The old man might be waiting up for it long. Right. Whoop.
Well, you're just hanging out there at the local bar, and you're wondering who the hell you are. Are you a farmer? Somebody say, are you a star? Until the sun comes out again, you gotta keep on smiling through the rain. Laughing at the pain and the pain and the pain. Going with the changes. Just keep on singing. Sing it with me now, girl. Come on. Keep on smiling, 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 smiling.
What's up, everybody? Word. Oh, look at there, dude. Oh, the dude's at Whataburger. What? Keeping that taquito action going, huh? I see you. I see you. Actually, no, there's still this much, I think, at the bottom of that second jar, the one that had the sugar in it. Hey, man, that's good stuff. So what's up? We got Rabbit, Widow's Diary, T-Girl. Good to see you, man. Old Rabbit on the second pot. That's what I'm talking about. Black Watch, Kiss Off, Canadian, Hillbilly, CTJ Cats, Mr. Benjamin, William, Miss Jane, Papa Two Bears, Papa's Farm. Word. Me. Look at Scat Pat. Benjamin was the first one in. Man. Well, I tell you, it's Sunday. Hoorah. I don't know, man. I got the chicken coop moved this morning. That was a chore. I'm gonna need some modifications or something. I don't know. I've got to taper that. Started out as easy. It gets a little bit of challenging. Hey, what's up, right? My buddy from down under. What are those jalapeno caliche things at Whataburger? Oh, Jalitos? Is it the Jalitos? I forgot what they're called. I think it's, isn't it? I don't know. Hey, what's up, Kelly? Prepping orders. How's the weather up there? Yes, they are. To be honest, I mean, if you're from Texas, then I guess you get it. But Whataburger is about that's the only fast food thing I'm eating. And you know, it's so funny because a Whataburger grilled chicken is better than a Chick-fil-A grilled chicken. And it's like, but wait a minute, you're Chick-fil-A. It's like chicken, it's in the name, but nope. Whataburger still kicks their butt. Morning, Miss Teresa. It is, isn't it, Kelly? It's a nice day. Right, Canadian. Like, I'm Canadian and Whataburger's my deal. It's my jam. Although I will say, man, I don't know. We're gonna see what happens to Whataburger because you know they done got bought up by one of them Northeast type companies, and I think I saw somebody say something about they saw the Whataburger. It was either in like Alabama or Arkansas or some shit. But yeah, you gotta love the Whataburger. You gotta love the burger. Well, it's the truth, Matt. It's the truth. The missus can even back that up. Oh, see, there you go. Widow's Diary. It's in Alabama. They've done broke the state lines. Matt's like, I never had a burger, but I have Whataburger, but I have a hard time believing Chick-fil-A isn't the best. Well, when it comes to that, sir, I must say I was not expecting it because I was like, oh, okay, cool. Go to Chick-fil-A, man, grilled chicken. They ought to, this is like, nope. And I was like, damn. Oh, damn. Whataburger in KC. And yes, you are Canadian, an honorary Texan. Got to go get some cat litter and the rest of the groceries. There you go. It's hard to tag everyone on the phone, right, Kelly? That's, hell, I have a hard time even with the keyboard. But good morning, everybody. Good morning, good day, good evening, wherever it's working for you. So what's up? Morning, Indy. What's up, sis? Hey, Zach. What's up, buddy? And if I missed anybody, I'm sorry. That wasn't my intention. Totally awesome and understandable. It's all good in the hood. Benjamin says a Chick-fil-A is 3 blocks away and never ate there. I tell you, I get it where it's got flavor. People could get into it. About the one thing I can say Chick-fil-A now, I do like the little waffle fries and their little Chick-fil-A sauce with some waffle fries. It's kind of some good stuff. But that's about that. To me, it's the grilled chicken and Whataburger's better than the Chick-fil-A. And I will say this now. Here you go, all you Chick-fil-A fans. Okay, I do have one major complaint with their ass is that what they call some chicken nugget kind of thing. It's like a grilled chicken little chunk of chicken. And it's like, man, that's the kind of shit you put in your chicken noodle soup or something. I mean, that's not a piece of chicken. Morning, Miss Jane. I'm gonna have to increase my font size. I can see. Cowboys are going to kick ass today. Whatever. Wasted good money right there, buddy. The NFL, bunch of damn losers. Right, Kelly? Hey, man, what is that? Somebody did a deal on McDonald's, the $15 Big Mac or some shit. And it's like, yeah, imagine that. $15 for a Big Mac. Hey. Oh, man. So let's see who we got. Hope Cowboys win. I'm not trying to knock on anybody that's fans of the NFL, but that's just a bunch of pansy asses now. They whine, they gripe, and they're so overpaid. My God, look at what they do compared to the payment, the salary that people out here keeping the water running and the electricity on, and people doing backbone shit. They don't get to whine about cold days, wet days, and yet these guys, it's just, and it's they have no, I don't know. It changed. I'm way back. I'm a Lynn Stallworth, Schwann, Franco Harris, the Iron Curtain kind of thing, Chicago Bears, right about there. And after that, you just started watching a bunch of sissies. Loaf of bread and one of Chicken Rescue's chickens. We eating for 2 days. Hey, BB can sustain a meal for a couple of days. He's kind of meaty. Yeah, college football, I guess. I don't know. I'm an ass, man. See, college football would probably be more fun if we were actually like teaching them some shit also, but you have they're either there to play the sport or they're there to get all radicalized. And it's crazy. It's supposed to have been an extracurricular activity done for enjoyment, not for a salary. It should have been a form of entertainment. It brings nothing to the family table. So, but this is why I get called names. I have those strange thoughts. Oh, right, Black Watch. That's no. Most of the country has lost sight of the actual backbone that keeps things going. It's all been glorified, and it's like when you look at the colleges, you're either going there, unless you're going to a certain type of schools, that are for an engineering specific or a veterinary that specialize in something. Most of it, you're just going there. They're either going to go get radicalized or they're going in for the sports. And it used to mean something to show that because it used to show that you could actually, the way it was explained to me, and I always viewed it pretty much my whole life. People looked at when you graduated from high school, then that meant you stuck it out to the end and you graduated. And then if you went to college, then that meant you had enough determination that you went through the 4 years to get the degree. And yeah, a degree would of certain things would matter. Well, see, then they took all that off. Hell, then you get a PhD in basket weaving and shit. So they've totally polluted all that. It's trade skills, man. That's why an EMP, and it would reset everything back. People could then start to respect and understand the hands-on work that gets done, that sustains things. Take all this spoiledness, fancy foo ha ha shiznit out. Right, right. What's up, Monty? I bet you do, sir. I bet you do. D Dog. What's up, young man? Dude, I didn't even catch the clock thing until somebody said something about it. And then I was like, wait, did that really happen? And then I can tell because then I look up, and believe it or not, I look up at the Scooby Doo clock that's up there. And since it's analog, it was still set. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess it did. Ooh, man, a refill. Miss Jane never. Oh, here's the internet hound. Come here. Look over this way. This way. Then they can see if you look this way. You look this way. Look, come here. What are you doing? Look this way. There you go. They're over there. All the people are over there. All the people are over there. You tartar. Tartar. All right. I want to pitch toast. Hoorah. I was in the Super Bowl once. Did you see me? Nope. When I stopped watching the Super Bowl, you probably were still in diapers. I don't glorify that shit, man. I really got very little respect for them. Not that this really means anything to anybody, but I don't know. I just thought it was really cool. But I got a new project apparently that my son, I'm going to be doing for a friend of his, and it's the new AMD, the Ryzen 9 chip. I think this is the 7950. Yeah, the 7950. So that ought to be kind of cool. I don't know if he's going to be here when I do it. If he's not here, then I'll just do it with y'all. But if he's here, I don't know. He might not want to be on the internet. Bam, D-Dog, you nailed it. I do remember seeing that now. There was a clip, and it showed this white porcelain bowl, and it showed this dude in this little bowl, and I think it was Tidy Bowl or something, and he was going in circles. And damned if that wasn't right. Man, you just slick as shit. Oh, man. Yeah. There you go, Black Watch. I guess the reflection's kind of getting it. You get in there close. Look at that. Yeah. Is it going to focus? Nope, won't focus. Well, here's the white tag for it. 16 core, 32 thread, 5.7. Using a gigabyte board wasn't my recommendation, but canning potato soup today. What? Hell yeah, D-Dog. Hey, morning, Lady Smith. How are you, ma'am? Hey, Kim's Creation. Oh, hey. So there's 25 of y'all here. So I'm going to ask your opinion. I'm trying to figure out some kind of like a logo thing. And somebody brought it up about, so here's what I'm thinking is something like this. I know, hey man, yeah, I don't draw. So I'm just putting it down. So what do you think? Like if that was the Cluckin Alamo Coop Gang, and I want the Maltese cross, but I want to do a rooster head kind of picture in the middle. And then on each of the tab of the Maltese cross, like honesty, integrity, wisdom, and strength. That ought to look cool, huh? Or is that too much? I will say when I thought about it, is that going to be too much though? I got to figure out some program. I've been looking at different programs to draw it out. But I figured there it'd be the Cluckin Alamo. Yeah, right, Rabbit. See, that's Michigan sent me one had a rooster with a chainsaw, but I'd rather have an axe. Kind of partial to axes. Now I just got to been looking at some different little programs to try to draw it out. My brain just doesn't fully function. Procreate. Oh, that's an iPad thing, isn't it? Yeah, that's an Apple thing. I can't use that, Kelly. I don't have any Apple products. Steve Jobs, I would say he could kiss my ass, but well, he ain't here to do that no more. But before he could kiss my ass. Right, Indy? That's it. What you are stands over you all the while. It thunders so that I can't hear what you say to the contrary. Yeah, see that, but that Procreate, I just went to pull it up. It's an Apple product, so it's for the iPads. It's for the Apple stuff, and I don't have a. I'm a Linux Droid kind of guy. That's it, Rabbit. You gotta love the axe. You ain't gotta worry about no fuel. Ain't got no spark. You just swing that bad boy. Hey, morning, Beaver Valley. Oh, okay, rank if men if and anybody that wants to play around with it, look, we just get shit right out in the gate. I can't pay you nothing. So if you want to diddle around with something and come up with some stuff, anybody, I can put my email up here. I put my email. Bam, that's my email. So anybody wants to play around with an idea of it, that's cool. But I just can't pay for it. So don't want to lead that on. You know what I'm saying? Oh, cool, Kelly. Like I said, but I just can't, it's really awesome. Anybody that feels like doodling, that'd be awesome. But most everything that I used to could barter and exchange with was what I could physically do. And well, that's kind of on limited resource now. So I don't really ain't got shit to offer. Morning, Dennis. Morning, Ronnie. Eric Rooster with a chainsaw. Would that be a tree cutting? Kim's creation. I'm thinking of your name, Rescue. I've had that nickname for so long. Thought about that the other day. I was like, wow, that was whenever the internet was coming out, and it was like, well, you need to come up with something for an email. That was even my nickname then. There you go, Rank. Just something along those lines is what I'm thinking, which not the scratched out part. Oh, wow, Kim's. It needs flames. Well, I guess. I don't know. Envision a big, strong hand reaching out, and each finger could have your phrases, and you could have BB tattooed on the wrist. Dang, look at you, Kim's. Rabbit, you've been rabbit since you was 18. Well, and I guess because I'm also used to like with the Maltese cross, and then I just figured, and we got Coop Gang because we got other people. Kim's is coming along with hers. She gonna have her coop. We got Nikki, we got Tiger, we got everybody, we got chickens. We are the Coop Gang. Old Jeremy, TT1. Hadn't seen him in a minute. I was sick, so I didn't reach out. I need to reach out to him today. See how he's doing. Yep. Kelly and them got chickens too now. Woot. How you liking the woods, Kelly? Y'all really digging it? Getting away from down there, now getting up in the more in the quiet. Let's see. I can imagine, Kelly. It just that's when y'all moved, and I was thinking, boy, I bet you that was like night and day going from down there around all that shiznit. And I just, that's pretty cool, Eric. What's up, Huckleberry? Oh, there you go, Kim's. Gonna go put the chicken wire on. Well, I didn't know I was gonna go live, Huckleberry. I actually was thinking Hillbilly was going live because I was doing the chicken coop, and then when I stopped, I noticed that notification and Hutch had gone live. So then I was listening to them two goofballs while we were getting the chicken coop moved over to some fresh grass. And then the last I heard was he was going to go live. So everybody could kind of go hang out and chat and talk. But oh no, not Hillbilly. He didn't do it. So I sat here and then I was bored and I wondered what everybody was doing and said, well, okay, fine. I'll go live and we can see what everybody's up to. Morning, G-Mo, Nana. I'm going to get up and get going. I done had breakfast. You all have a great day. I just wanted to stop in and say hello. All righty, Kim's. Make it a great day, ma'am. Awesome work with the chicken coop. Oh, look at Dennis. Dennis is eating pancakes. I think the missus said we're gonna bust open some of them Pillsbury biscuits and do some sausage and eggs. I imagine that's kind of loud. Y'all hear that whenever I do that. It's like I need to hook up this little stream deck thingamajig. so I can just start pushing buttons and have it do shit. Yeah, Eric, I did. Where you're talking about with the having a hand with a chain with a pendant with the Maltese cross, and then what? Another hand with the axe. I think is what it was, right? Let me scroll, scroll. A hand holding a chain, a Maltese cross with rescue stamped in the middle. I gotta say now, Eric, that might be something, if you did. Let's see. So you could do, if you had the hand like that, you could have the strength, integrity, wisdom, and honor or honesty right here. You could have those listed, and then the chain. That'd be kind of cool. But see, where do I put my Cluckin Alamo? Because I gotta have room for all my mother Cluckers. Oh, and by the way, it's funny. I don't know if I'm gonna be in some the whatever that monetized thing or whatever the hell happens to people when you get all them little buttons and shit. Because I noticed in my little studio thing, I'm in review for something, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't know what that really entails. There was some kind of AdSense shit, and there was some kind of review stuff, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't know, man. I just hit go live. I will say I think what kind of got me with what I drew here was because I'm used to also seeing, like on a shirt, you always have your Maltese cross. Hey, what's up, Michigan? I was just talking about you earlier about the deal you sent me, which, by the way, here's what I'm coming up with, Michigan, since you're here. I'm thinking of like something like this. And then in the middle where I said rooster head is like what you had sent me the picture, only instead of a chainsaw, the rooster head with the helmet on and the axe. I think a rooster, kind of like old Grumpy and them's rooster, but I want a fire helmet and an axe. About time for what? I don't even know what you're talking about now, Kiss Off. Freaking hate YouTube ads. Oh, I know. Do y'all get any of that stuff? Like if I go live, do y'all have ads and shit? I've noticed. I heard other people talking about that. Do you guys get ads? I mean, hey man, I'll tell you quick. I've been a YouTube premium person since it's been out there. Hey, morning, Miss Mayor. Rescue monetized. See, see, I don't want to get caught up in all that though. So and I mean, I don't, I, I'll ruffle some feathers. I don't have the same. Yes, I have issues with YouTube, but my issues, they aren't usually the consensus of the general people. Like, I don't like the fact that YouTube picks sides on what they allow. That I don't agree with. That's an unfair bias. But to not allow people to talk about something, to be quite honest, man, it's their platform and it's their world. I only would ask them to put it balanced, make it fair. If I can't talk about election, then I don't want them to talk about election. If I can't talk about not wanting to take a poke, they shouldn't be able to talk about making you take the poke. That's all I would ask. But because they're a private company and it is what it is. Oh, my show. Hell, I don't have no show. Hell, my life is a shit show. Couldn't even get on. Cartoon rooster with an axe rescue. Yeah, here, let me see if I can find that. Let me find that one that Michigan sent me. Bam, 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 bam. Oh, let's see. Did I move it up here? I think I moved it right here. Is that it? Yeah. All right. So see, Michigan sent me this. Hold on, I'm gonna make it bigger. Wow. And so see how that rooster is? Only that's a duck, but I'd like to have a rooster and with an axe instead of a saw. But the fire helmet, rooster head, that's what I'm thinking of in the middle. Something like that, only an axe instead of a saw and a rooster instead of a duck. And I think that would look cool. And then, on my tabs, then that's when I'd have the honesty, integrity. I think that'd be shizzing it. What did I miss? Michigan. Where'd you go, brother? Where did you go? We had an older gentleman in the forestry. Oh, damn, brother. I'm sorry to hear that, Michigan. I'm very sorry to hear that. Angry rooster with an axe. Or I, I don't know. Why can't you be brave and angry at the same time? Rescue, sorry, but I disagree with that. There's a lot of people that love their rescue. Well, a chicken hawk from Looney Tunes all grown up. And by the way, don't forget, y'all, in live chat are all messages. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think, let's see. I think I got old. I think Papa's email is in here somewhere. Let's see. Here are all my little button pushings. So, Papa's. There you go. Check your email. Monique, what's up, little maple leaf? I say, look at me when I'm talking to you, boy. I'm pretty sure it's been two. Well, and it's those certain dates. That's how there's been so many because that those dates then connect throughout that family. You know, got to sit back and take a breath. It was hard to witness, and that was close, rough. No doubt, no doubt.
Without two cheese.
Thank you, Mama. Ooh, biscuits and sausage. Need some coffee. It's refill time. What? Strength and wisdom, Michigan. Strength and wisdom. Those are always that's my go-to prayer. Strength and wisdom. Man, we might need a little tunage. What do I got back here? Oh, by the way, man, yesterday's stream, I don't know, went into copyright violation heaven, and I don't know, there's even names in there protesting songs, and I started to go back and question them and go, so who is this that's copywriting the violation against me on this song? Because I can play it for the last 5 streams that nobody said anything. So where that? Because like some of my Blackberry Smoke songs, now all of a sudden some weird little thing. I think sometimes you get trolls in your chat, and then they just report you, kind of thing. Oh, we're gonna see if the gerbils are gonna pedal fast enough today or not. Let's see. He might have gave him an extra boost of vitamin C this morning. We'll find out. What's up, Papas?
Oh shit! Oh shit! We're live. What's happening,
We're
man?
live.
You caught me putting some quarters in my internet interweb over here. It's
I was hoping you gave them gerbils an extra dose of vitamin C.
How the heck are you, Rescue? Good to see you, brother.
Often still up and kicking. I woke up,
man,
so I figured, well,
just a little bit.
He left me here for another day, so I figure I'll find something good to do.
Right. Yeah, my internet's still laggy as crap. Last night I couldn't even get on. It just kept kicking me off. I bet you I rebooted my internet, like my box and everything, like 6 different times. Tried unplugging it, tried the reset button in the back. It was just crap. Well, how the hell have you been, man? How's everybody been?
I dropped my resolution down on the camera, and if you're on a computer, you can try doing that. That might help with your bandwidth some, but go into your camera settings and drop it down to like
Yeah.
the standard 480.
Yeah.
And sometimes that'll help with
Yeah, I
the
know what
pixel
you're
and this
talking about.
relieve the data a little bit.
That's what I'm on right now, standard definition 480.
Oh, okay. Well, I just joined you, so
Yeah,
I
I'm
brought
already-
mine down. So hopefully that'll.
Okay. They just have to put up with a little fuzzier picture. Won't see the nice crispiness of our great beard. Monique Cooten, good to see you too, sis. Where's your hat, Rabbit? Jibbo, you know, I've been looking around for that thing for a long time. I still haven't been able to find it, Rabbit.
I'm still digging my toque. By the way, I will emphasize you did notice I said the correct name. So I love my toque.
You know, Rabbit been on me about that hat ever since I broke that mug out. But Rabbit, I was going to tell you, and I think I've told you this one time before. I know which hat you're talking about. This hat, son, you're not getting.
Oh yeah.
No, you're not getting this one. I love this hat. And it fits me just so ever so perfect. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But Rabbit, if you will email your address, I will send you my backup top hat.
Oh wow.
Comes with turkey feather and all.
Yeah, that's the first time I ever
This
got
one's
an
a nice
email
hat
from.
too.
First time I ever got an email from YouTube where I was gifted a channel membership.
I've had that happen about 3 or 4 times. See, Chicken Whisperer, she spent about 4 hours the other day dusting off its back shelf, and she's got it looking nice and tidy. Yeah, I don't think they did either, G-Ma. I think that was the one that took me down. Rabbit, if you send me a message, I will send you that other hat.
He's such a dick move. Stupid ass Epic Times. I'm gonna see if I can do this fast enough. You just have to watch your screen or just go to Epic Times. But oh, will it focus? Will it focus? There, bam. And then of course
Nearly
it kicks
1 in
that.
3 COVID-19. Yep. Yeah, it kicks it out real quick.
Nearly 1 in 3, the COOF vac people suffer neurological side effects. And that's coming from Pfizer now. So now it's basically, and that was the sad news part, was like, yeah, Pfizer now actually has to come out and tone up to their lies.
Well, sorry, Rescue. I didn't mean to say the COOF out loud. I forget sometimes that we're living in a communist country. It's just hard for me to keep getting my grasp around.
It's okay. I've actually, I can, you know, I understand it because they need to protect their shareholders. And so that's,
Well,
they have an active interest.
Yeah, if that's actually what I had said, but what I had said was I was asking about the Mustang Cobra. Didn't they come out with like a 19 edition, you know, something like that?
Yeah.
I think it was the Mustang Cobra 19. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, sometimes I try to read the Epic Times stuff, but man, you know, that's the one thing I gotta say. So while the radical shit, and so yeah, the country's taking that push in that direction, but at the same time, on the I don't know if you want to say the Republican side, conservative side, patriot side, but the other side besides the radicals, you start to see these people that it's that profit shit, dude. It's that chase of money. And it's like all of them, it's like, we can fight and get our country back. You just need to sign up to our monthly subscription for $9.95 a month. And it's like, wait a minute, you sound like part of the problem. It's like, it's kind of like the cure for cancer. It's like, why wouldn't you just give it up? What's up, Brad? Yankee Watchdog.
I seen also in another article where they were talking about that those Cobras we were just talking about, that they knew the whole time that it was a bad batch, and that they hid the findings on that stuff. So there's a lot of deception going around, a lot of mistrust, that I'm not sure how as a country we get it back.
Oh,
there's a lot of places, in the government that have lost their standing. 3-letter agencies, Congress, and I don't care which side of the aisle you're on. Pharmaceutical companies. I mean, the list goes on and on, because it's kind of the retribution of. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like the retribution of what happens when you do have someone who will come in and expose a lot of the corruption and crap that's going on, and other people who's been out there doing it too. I mean, even down from the island stuff. And we can talk about the Steen Island, or we can talk about, Hawaii Island, so much, but corporations have inserted themselves into our government, that now that people are waking up to them as well. It's like it was almost at a point where America kind of looked at your government, either you were good or bad, and that's all we focused on was government. But now we see that it goes beyond that, what we've kind of knew all along and heard in stories, but you never really can put your finger on it or can prove. But you see that a lot of these big money corporations and people of wealth run the cabal.
Well, it's people are bought off. I mean, we've been watching it in movies about mobsters and shit for decades. They go in and they say, hey, we want this. We'll just offer him $100,000. And he'll go, okay. So, and we make jokes about it, and well, what happened to our government was the same shit. That the money shareholder people, the lobbyists, live in Washington. So you literally have people paid. Their whole life is centered around, here's some bank account money. You need to go keep knocking. That's your job every day. This is your life. Your life is to raise your family and do your little thing. And while you do this, you go knock on doors going, hey, pass this bill. We need this bill passed. Here, we'll donate this $50,000 to your thing. Oh, wait, there's a loophole. We can't donate that much directly to you. So here, we're going to go get 1,000 of these little useless names out here, and they're all going to donate $1,000 to you. And see, and then next thing you know, you have people, because if you watch the committee hearings and shit that go down, this is a fucking facade. Pardon my French on a Sunday, but this is all a facade, Rather it's a Mitch McConnell, rather it's a whoever, this is a facade. Look at behind you at all them little people that are scurrying back and forth out that door over there. And every time something brought up, they come in out that back room, they come over, they drop this little pad down in front of them, or they tap them, they look down, and then they pick up their phone and they're going, oh yeah, well, we need to go against this. And that's because they don't even know what the hell they're doing. They're being paid to raise this bill. Exactly. They're being paid to get the EPA to put restrictions on this particular item being used in a production of something. Why does that matter? Well, because when you look into that, all of a sudden you realize that these two big companies, they don't use that, but their competition over here uses that particular component. So what they do, they get those lobbyists to go pass a bill that says, don't use this product item can't be used in a product. All of a sudden you've eliminated 5, 6, 10, 12, whatever the competition is. And then these two that don't use that, now all of a sudden they're the ones. They get the contract. You do that with the contracting too on to oh man, get me all wound up because it's
No,
it's the love of money. It's the
I'm gonna
root
put
of
it like
evil.
this, Rescue. Exactly. 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 I was just about to say the exact same thing, but in a different way. They remind me of those dancing peanut monkeys. I mean, that's exactly what these people remind me of. So many people are so willing that when the crank of it starts going and the music starts going, they know that they better dance to that tune if they want that peanut. Well, that's exactly, how these corrupt people are. Almost a lot of politicians. They go in there under the guise of, I'll work for you. I'll work for you, Miss Metal. I'll work for you, Lady Smith, Indy. I'll work for you. I'm going to go do exactly what you want me to do as a politician that represents your area. And then they get up in there, and then they're like that kid walking into the candy store the first time. They're just amazed at all the marble buildings, and all of a sudden they started feeling empowered because they're sitting beside people with power, and they're in this grandeur of halls, you know what I mean, this historical places. So they start feeling even more powerful, and then they start getting money flaunted in front of them. Well, listen, if you come sit down at this meeting, there might be a check that shows up at your door for support, on your campaign of, whatever. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. And next thing you know, they're kind of falling in lust with that money. They're kind of falling in lust with that power and those elbows that they have to rub that's going to get them that money. And they become corrupted. And it seems like every one of them, or I would say almost 99% of them that walk through that door, get corrupted in one fashion or another. Some of them,
Well,
it's maybe,
the parties themselves even do it. So right from the get-go, like when you elect your guy from here and you send him up, he gets to Washington, they get introduced, they go through all this introduction stuff, and here's the intro, here's got to do your little intro, just like if you went to work at a refinery, they're going to take you through all their little safety things. Well, you do the same thing there. And then the fucking party, it's a party within the party, because this is it's the Republican Party, but it's the RNC. So it's the national version. And it's just like the DNC. And it's like, wait, what? Well, then they all of a sudden put restriction. And they say, okay, here's what you got to do. You got to go raise this kind of money. So right out the gate, your representative that you send up there is immediately put on a task to just go raise money for the party. And see, and that's the bullshit, dude. Fuck that shit. Pardon my French, but your area, your district, your state, you send this guy, you the one that should fund him. So the people that voted him in, that raised that you should only be the ones that he gets money from. There should be nobody else. Some shithead from some other state shouldn't be able to donate to your candidate. If it's your candidate, you put him in.
Exactly.
If you can't afford to put him in, then I guess he don't need to be there. Maybe you need to go and get some better money. Go to work. But this whole, here, well, just because, dude, it's outside sources. Because you get little Bob over here and you think, well, that's Bob donated. No, Bob didn't donate shit, dude. That was either Soros that sended that shit through 12 different little subsidies to finally give him the money, or a China shit done fed it through about 10 or 12 subsidiaries to give Bob that money. And then Bob can go make it look like Bob invested in that. Bob didn't invest in shit.
Right.
We get sold out, and we've been
Rescue.
sold out by money. It's the chase of money. We sit here and we live in all our spoiltries
and power
and all this commodities. We bitch about China while we go to the store and buy every one of their damn products. And I'm not knocking China, because hell, people in China need to make a living too. It's the communist regime, just like here. Americans don't suck. Our American government sucks. They're corrupt as shit, but American citizens are solid. I feel the same way with China. So I get it, man. And I will say Wick, for those that don't know Wick, he's got a YouTube channel. He's down in Florida. He's a vet. He actually just did yesterday or day before yesterday, did actually a little test on a Gerber knife from Temu. And it's a Gerber clone, dude. And he was hoping to shame the shit out of this Temu company clone item. But dude, he kept beating the shit out of this knife. And he finally at the end, he's going, I don't know, man. It's as good as quality as the Gerber one. The tip hasn't bent. The edge isn't dull. Chopped a 2x4. He literally drove the knife through a 2x4 that he had in a vise, standing like this. Drove it through the 2x4, then had to bang it sideways to get it out of the board. Pulls it up and goes, "Yeah, I don't know what to say." So you kind of got to look and go, some of this, while we attack China and go, "Oh, China products," it's also our laziness. We decided we don't. Oh man, I ain't gonna go fucking work in that hot foundry for $20 an hour. The hell with that shit. I'm better than that. And then all of a sudden we bitch because, well, guess what? China said, "Hey, you know what? We'll do that shit for $10 an hour." And they're like, "Oh," and then we're going, "Yeah, man, they're outsourcing our shit." Well, I don't know. Get the hell up off of a lazy boy and take pride in breaking a sweat and putting in a hard day making something.
Exactly.
Do something. What's up, Dyer, Miss Metal? Everybody, I missed you coming in. Good morning, good day, good evening, wherever it's working for you.
Yeah. But but one thing I will point out about that rescue is let's take a look at what they're doing too. Most of those people over there that are working in those factories like that, they've never tasted what Americans tasted.
Oh, yeah.
The amount of freedom that we have to be able to even be a consumer society, they don't even really have that. They're restricted on what they can consume, what they can own, where they can work. You know what I mean? So for them, when they've had so little, to them, getting something like that is great because it opens up opportunities that in their country, really, as a communist country, shows them that, having money and having power means that you can move about more freely. And that means that it's possible that you can escape. Whereas they keep such a tight thumb on you. And around here, we've never endured anything like that. People are soft to stuff like that because of, being born in a society that they've already been through those things.
Do you realize that we are so spoiled and so complacent that we literally have a percentage of the population of this very country that doesn't even see the freedoms anymore? They think that we're just like everybody else. They can't even connect with the freedoms that we have. They've literally been powder puffed up so high on a little feathery pillow that they don't even comprehend the freedoms that this country actually offers versus every other country on this ball of dirt.
And it comes from not looking at your history. It comes from not looking at even just your own family. How did they come to be? You know what I mean? How did your grandparents come to be? Your great grandparents? What got you here? What struggles did your family endure, in order to sit in this soft society that you have now? And when we forget that stuff, or we don't care about it anymore because we've got video games over here, we got these electronics, this fascinates us, that fascinates us. I said that the other night, was that growing up, even at our age, I remember that, we didn't have all the computers, we didn't have the games, we didn't have the phones at a certain point in our life. And then at a certain age it was introduced to us, slowly, a little bit here. We always had a TV, but it was like the older floor models. There weren't as many channels as there is today. There wasn't no HBO. There wasn't, any of this stuff. But then that stuff slowly got introduced. And that's just one phase of how we gotten softer. The food. Yeah, the food. I mean, now we can drive up to a window. We don't have to walk out in our garden in the beginning of spring and plant seeds and then wait,
Papas,
for this stuff.
Not only do we drive up to a window, we're so used to driving up to the window that we get pissed off at the fast food place isn't fast enough.
Exactly.
Yeah, Backwoods brought that up yesterday. I was like, yep, people can't even stand sitting in the fast food line.
Yep. Yeah, we get mad when they ask us to pull up.
Well, I did too, but did not do it for a different
reason. I will
reason.
tell you that.
That's because I know the reason and why. You know why they have you pull up? And it's because, see, in the corporate world, there's a timer on that window. And the minute that thing went off, they have X amount of time. They're supposed to deal with you. So basically, big boy up in the corporate office think that they handled you when really what you did is you pulled up to that trash box up there and we'll be outside with your order in a minute. but we need Big Boy to think that we're on time.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly why they have you do pull-ups. Rink says he can't draw with all this negativity.
Hey, man, you know, come
He
to
needs
America
his-
where
he
you can
needs
own
his,
guns. That's all I can say.
He needs his Bob Ross space. So he can paint them happy little trees.
Come to America where you can own guns.
Yep, that's right, Michigan.
Well, it was the picture. See, we came out of World War II, and that was our American.
And see,
we still
Michigan,
had
that's
American
what,
dream,
you know,
American
has got us
fortitude, American
where
drive, and so we were driving
we're
that.
at.
So when we did our show productions, we did our songs, everything that we portrayed was some kind of a patriotic strength, fortitude, wisdom, honor, respect. That was the main drive. And then when the 60s kind of introduced, it started to introduce another. And then as that started to kind of, it was like a scab, and it started growing. And I think over then from the 60s up for the next about 3 to 4 decades, it started whittling away at the family structure, the home structure. Hard working took a different aspect. You went from being proud of having the job to, oh, you're a slave having to work for a living. It's like, what? That used to be like a badge of honor. I'm working to provide for my family, and this is a respectable, honorable thing. And now it gets made fun of, like, oh, you're just a slave. No, actually, I'm providing for my family because this is how things work in a society. And that's it. Michigan let your yes be yes and your no be no.
Right? Yeah. It's the whole mindset of doing some labor that kind of really, I don't understand the whole process of fear over it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, when it comes to raising your kids.
I will say, G Mon, I was talking about the food, and I will see. I don't. Well, I think we made bad decisions.
But I got to ask you something, Rescue.
I don't think it was intentional. Like when.
Well, I got to ask you
because
two
when
questions.
you look at our foods.
The first question is, do you think this country's sick right now? I mean, do you think that we're broken, we're sick as a country,
on if a
we're
child
not
should whack
healthy?
his ding ding off and shit? I'd definitely say we're sick. Go ahead, Papas. Did we lose him?
Okay, so the second part of that question is then, do you think it's a sickness that we can be cured of as a country, or is this like downhill from here out? Is it one of these diseases that's going to take the country out?
Oh no, I think it can be fixed.
I got a bad lag, brother. Sorry about that.
No worries. I think it can be fixed. I mean, anything. We're not this. I don't know. See, I guess it just depends on how you look at things. I don't count out until I'm out. So I'm not down until I'm down. And so there's, as long as you're breathing, there's always a chance. So, do I think that we have high probability? Like, is it going to be easy? Nope. Do I think it's just going to happen overnight? Nope. Do I think it's possible? Yeah. I mean, it's no different than back in the day. As the people went from the 1600s into the 1700s, they didn't know any other way of life except a monarchy. And they knew what they knew. And then at some point they said, no, man, we want something different. And we got founded. And there is something to be said about that. So that means there is a human nature that wants, nature's laws, God-given nature's laws, and we established this country. So if we had that fortitude then, we could do it again. Now, it's an uphill fight because we got
Yeah,
in deep.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but nothing worth acquiring usually is. I mean, it's going to take some hard work. And I agree with you 100%. I'm not down. I'm up breathing. I'm still fighting, until I am down. So I agree with you 100%. But, a lot of people have got that mindset that, well, there's no turning this around. There's no fixing it. So it's almost like it puts us in a destiny to fail when you have such negative mindset about, where this country is at right now and whether it can be turned around. Will we go back to the days we were? I don't think we'll go back to the way things are, because it's like anything. When you start having hard feelings, you don't forget stuff, and it changes the atmosphere. And
you
I don't
learn.
think we'll ever go back to where we were, but I do think we'll go back to a time where, we're not dealing
We'll go
with
back to
this
core
bullshit.
principles.
Exactly. Because
because life is learning. We did it with asbestos. There was a time in our past we really thought that was some really good shit, and we decided to implement that in all kinds of stuff, and then we realized it wasn't. So I mean, we've had these learning curves, and hopefully right now is a very good learning curve. I think the biggest challenge, and I don't think this is gonna. I think that how do you say this? Because I mean, I could just say things directly, but then because there are trigger words that not just do the whole little silence thing, but they actually get knocks on your door because you say things a certain way. But
yeah, exactly.
But there was a time when we began this country, there was a mindset for freedom, and the battle was pretty clear because it was just called, sticks, swords, and some lead, and who. If I drop a tree on your ass to take you out of the fight, then it is what it is. If I can throw a rock into the side of your ship and sink the thing, I'm cool with it. But I think the ground we're at now with the whole digital platform, the AI, we have other superpowers that are way more developed now, that are more threatening.
Right.
I think it'll definitely be it's going to be a different fight. I think it's going to be, I could see I could actually see an internal conflict at the same time of two external conflicts all at the same, a trifecta almost. Yeah. So I could see that being the point. What's up, Grumpy? Miss Connie?
Yeah, Grumpy says we all need to stay in place. Authorities will be here shortly to interview us.
Right. It just,
it's definitely. Go ahead.
Because you just hear so much of the rhetoric, and I think that's what it's time to make a stand. And I don't mean just against the radical side. To be quite honest, man, and this might not go over well with some people, but it is what it is. But it's time to make a stand, even amongst ourselves. Like it's time to call out the person that's saying, poor me, that's saying, oh, the system's always going to win. Oh, there's no point in this. It's time to go, no, you're full of shit. It's the time of being polite and shit is over. You don't have to be rude and ugly so much, but you got to be factual, and you just need to shut them people down. And it's like, no, I'm sorry, but your whining is not going to work here. So it's time to nut up, stand up, and it's time to go to work. And if you don't want to get on board with that, then feel free to skate on down the road and be cannon fodder. We'll look for you later.
Yes, exactly. And for these big cities, it's going to take something. Well, you see recently where that lady was going and pulling down the posters of, these missing people, I guess over in where they're fighting at in Gaza, so forth. And so this lady was going down through New York, pulling the posters down, and this guy was putting them up for these missing children. Man, these children are innocent. I don't care what side of the fight you're on. The children, they're innocent. They're just cannon fodder. I mean, right now at this point, they're using them as pawns against each other. And for somebody to be going and putting up posters and somebody coming right behind them to ripping them down, man, the hatred that we have in this country, and we're not even over there in the fight, like boots on the ground, bloodshed, seeing your family members, disappear. But these people, they just carry that hatred here with them. And I don't understand as a society why we keep letting this happen. Where are the cops to stop this lady, from doing things like keeping these people with their, free speech? It's that kind of corrosion that you see happening right in front of your face, a little here, a little there. That's the kind of shit that you want to stop. You got to stop it at small sections like that to make a big effect, because they spread it so thin.
Well, and you got to see, like, in like the way you said that, and that's, what the problem, like on the police aspect, it's because it's that the police are people, and that pool of people is the same ones that are also running into stores, robbing things. They're same people running up behind people on sidewalks, smacking them in the head. It's the same people that'll go to work every day. So because we talk about like that, the moral compass and that hard work and taking pride and breaking a sweat and all that same moral compass bleeds out into everything. So as you change that and you let society lose hold of that, well, then it starts reflecting. You don't see it just on the streets in all the gangs and the street day-to-day violence, but you'll start seeing it in the lack of services. Your service is not as dependable as it was. Well, why is that? Your workers aren't as solid as they used to be. The law's not being enforced the same as it was. Why is that? Because your law enforcement isn't pulled from the same people. So you got to look at that collective pool.
Yeah, that's moral decay within society. And, it's happening to us right now.
And by the way, I apologize to anybody that finds it offensive for me to eat, but I'm going to take a bite of sausage and biscuits while we're conversing. If that does disrupt you, then
damn right.
Go make your own biscuit and sausage.
And eat it. In chat.
That's it. And chat. Just don't get the grease on your keyboard. We have to hold local politicians accountable for what's happening to our towns early. See, and that's another thing, Michigan. More people need to get that collective, it's all the same, out of their mind and start looking at right here. Like, you can hear the horror stories of Chicago, but if you don't live in Chicago, don't dive into that shit too far. What you need to start doing is listening to that and then going, well, wait a minute then. Let me go check with my county, with my city council. And wait a minute, you mean to tell me y'all are actually harassing people for spitting on a sidewalk? Well, wait a minute, who made that law? Oh, your city council? Well, then go talk to city council people. Start learning that your voice. The reason why people don't think they have a say is because you've been, I don't know, man, I hate using them words like program, because people do so much shit voluntarily. And, but you've gave up the thought, and you fall into the media take of, the feds, the Washington, this, the senators are doing this, the representatives are doing that, the president's doing this. Well, that's all up there. But the shit that makes these shithole cities a shithole city is because people in that city stopped paying attention to what was happening right there. When you end up with the little Thugville type street neighborhoods, you get that because people in that area stopped holding their representative accountable for letting shit get that bad. And then they get programmed into blaming things. And next thing you know, you end up with a whole city full of shit. What's up, Nikki?
Yeah, exactly.
Fried potatoes and onions
and hillbilly,
about to go down.
Hillbilly, I wouldn't say that out loud like that, because if Backwoods was back here lurking, that he would take that comment and tear it up. I'm just saying. He said he was supposed to get sausage and gravy. He said he was supposed to get sausage and gravy in Missouri. I'm just saying.
You couldn't find the store or what? By the way, Nikki, has Jeremy come in from out at the stand, and did he have any good luck? which I'm not seeing backstrap in that list of ingredients right there. So I'm going to assume that maybe he didn't drop one yet. I just get so flustered, and here lately I've been listening to Hillsdale College a lot. I like that little, I like a lot of them, but that one dude that's the main guy for them, the dean or whatever you call him, he is so cool. I like the way he talks. You can hear the passion, and I love it when he just gets to describing shit.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, cool. It's a good reminder, because I said that like 2 years ago. Man, I can look back now and with what we're going through, and I go, oh, wow, I so wish I had paid more attention in school and actually retained that shit.
Oh, shit. No hindsight's always 20/20, brother. Yeah. Right. Hindsight's always 20/20.
What is that? 11 minutes. Connie, exactly the same doctors and scientists who have been right about the jabs every step of the way have said that it likely leads to cirrhosis, and if so, all by design. Oh, well, yeah, and you're not forcing the ones coming across the border to actually do that, so then there's your repopulation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's funny how they don't have to abide by a bunch of the same laws that we would put under in those circumstances.
See, Grumpy says, there is the question. Should we care what happens to people in the big blue dots after they have voted themselves into the mess they're in? Well, to be honest, Grumpy, I kind of got mixed feelings. And I just speak from a third perspective because I live in the country and have most of my life on purpose. But I would say a place like Chicago, and because the Illinois state has actually also started to take on some really crazy shit, I would say that probably the biggest way to rectify that situation in that state would be for the majority of the people, the working people, to get out of there. So I think at some point you just can't keep. That's fighting a losing battle. That's like almost some of the old Nam battles you can read about, where we just kept sending troops up those hills regardless, because it's one of these times we're gonna finally get it, and we're gonna get that hill. And at some point you got to go, okay, hold on.
Yeah.
We're gonna sit back and we're just gonna bombard the shit out of that hill, and then we'll go see how it goes. And I think we ought to just bail out of them states and those cities. I will say, if you move out the cities, you change their population, which change their voting and shit. So you can change the dynamics. Yeah. That's why they're flooding people in, is to do that very thing.
Yep, Andy brought up a good point too, about being stuck in one of those blue dots. Said, remember, our votes haven't been counted accurately in a long time.
Yep. Well, see, and that's why you can't throw in the towel and say, oh, what you do is you're just going to have to, because it has gotten so bad. That's why you got to let it fall, and we'll go back in after and we'll rebuild the state, kind of thing. But you let them collapse. Yeah. Righteous people get out.
Yeah, because you got good people in cities too. We have to remember that, even though it's hard to see, because that's not what it looks like, for the stuff that makes the news. But there are good people there.
I got to say, Miss Connie, I beg to differ. And like I said yesterday, that whole selection instead of election thing, there's the proof is in the pudding, is all I'm going to say. It's easy to say the phrase. All you have to do is watch what they're doing right now to know that that's not true, apparently, because if elections didn't matter, you would not see them breaking the Constitution and going to the extremes they are with our legal system to bring Trump under all these little indictments and to do all these little, try to get him off the ballot, it wouldn't matter, because you'd just go, it don't matter. Let him be on the ballot. We already have so-and-so selected. So apparently that's not the way it fully works, because otherwise they would not be freaking out like they are. And they wouldn't have thrown pizza boxes up on the damn windows, and they wouldn't have been hauling in igloo chest and ice chest in the middle of the night in vans and shit.
Yeah,
it's just
exactly.
That as long as they tell people that, then people will stop trying. And when people stop trying, then the power of an American citizen diminishes, because the power of an American citizen is your voice.
Yep, because they take that away. That's the end of your voice.
Yep.
We can sit up here and we can talk all day, you know, and it changes nothing just verbally talking. You know, it may wake a person up and make them vote in a way that is more sensible. And that's where your power lies, is in your voting. That's also why it's important for them to make sure they have that facade that voting is still legit right now, and that it's being run in a way that's fair and even. I say you walk up, you show your ID, you get your ballot, you go to your little private corner, you vote, you drop it down into the box, and it gets counted by hand, by eye.
I don't know. I'll just put it like this, man. It's this simple. If voting really didn't matter, then my taxes next year wouldn't be $77, where Matt's is $7,000.
Right.
So it's little things like that, you know. We didn't have the mask thing. We didn't have the lockdown things. We didn't here in this county, much less the state. So I don't think that the orange bad man would have got in 16 if everything was predetermined, because I don't think Hillary would have gone into freakout mode like she did, to where they actually bought a whole dossier and did all this 4 years of committee shifting the media and everything because of orange man bad. If all of this was just predetermined, I don't think our founding fathers would have signed away their lives, possessions, and everything to establish the Bill of Rights and the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, that they literally pledged and sacrificed everything. And I think that people think that your voting doesn't matter, and that it's all been the same, and that this is some Illuminati Rothschild shit. Then you need to go look at the foundation of this country and look at everything that those people sacrificed, hundreds of people, by putting names on documents. And then over the years, as we fought the revolution and as they were found, all the things that they sacrificed and gave up just to achieve that. I think if you look at the story of George Washington, a man that was actually handed the power of everything, could have actually sat down and said, I am the king of this new place. He said, nope, I'm going to walk away because that's not what's needed. And I don't think that was pre-selected by an alien or Illuminati or somebody else. I think that was a very hard, strong fortitude man that understood what we had just come through and what this country was founded for. And I think that over our complacency and all our fancy foo-ha-ha, we've now been totally boom-fuzzled in all this little digital thing into diminishing the pride of that achievement that we did to bring freedom to the world. So, sorry, I'm a little more passionate about that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true though, Hillbilly. I mean, it's not, you know, you have men back then that have morals, they had grit, they have a lot of things that we've sold for comforts, and we're seeing the price of it.
It's like, man, with that's the thing that frustrates me with the Q stuff and the military stuff in control is because, man, it takes your eyes off of the target. The target is your voice matters. You need to stand up and say something. You need to just don't scream it. You don't cuss it. You look at the facts and go, no, that's wrong. You know, and you pass that on to your neighbor and you get the numbers to show up. And like I said, if it didn't matter, they wouldn't have cut everything off in the middle of the night and kicked everybody out so that they could change things if it didn't matter. I don't think you'd have Hillary Clinton still in 2023 talking about how it was stolen from her in 2016.
Yeah.
Because that was their plan.
Yep.
And yes, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, we don't live in a balanced government. We don't live in a balanced society.
No, and it's no big, type thing. We literally handed it over. It's no different than what happens in a refinery or in a big plant of some sort. You have a management level that ends up existing in an office layer where they have offices. So they're in an enclosure, whether it's a building inside this plant or a separate office down the road from the place. But Walmart has it. Walmart in Bentonville is not the same as Walmart management in your local store. Why is that? Because they exist in a different layer. And what happened is our politics.
Yeah.
We went from plowing fields to working in places to trying to do a business. And so next thing you know is this guy came around going, hey, if you'll put me in, I got your back. I'm going to go and get this taken care of. Well, you heard it. It sounded good. And you said, sure, yeah, you do that. Meanwhile, you went back to work. Well, you didn't really notice that all the promises that he made didn't really come true. You're just like, oh, man, check that away. Because you're used to the hard work. So you just did it. And they used that against us. And then they became very complacent up there. And then we let them establish these parties because they weren't established that way from the beginning. So that we let them establish this. We let them establish these national chairs. We let them do that by not paying attention. That's all it comes down to.
Yeah.
If we had been paying attention all along, they wouldn't have got this far. I firmly believe that anyway.
Is what they were able to do behind closed doors and saying that they were voting for their constituents and the deals they were making that's caused a lot of corruption, a lot of wrongthink. It turned out to be what they could get for themselves. So the rules kind of mimicked that. It mirrored that. It was always rules for thee and not for me. And that's how they treated how we let them get away with it up in Congress and shit, so they make rules that way for themselves.
It's that way in companies. You have your labor force that's actually down on the ground doing the stuff. And then you have your management layers. And as you go up that management layer, the more disconnected they are from the floor work. And it's just that goes across no matter where you are in what field. I can tell you about fire departments where the engine riders are different from the battalion chiefs. And the bigger the department gets, all of a sudden you end up with people that ain't even been out on a fire. And yet it's kind of like a General Austin or General Milley kind of shit. And it's like, really? That dude's straight up military. I mean, he ain't done PT in decades. He hasn't even probably reported at the damn raising of the flag in decades. So, but we still say, oh, but that's military. Not really. Well, see, we did that with everything. We became, you hit your lick and you don't really notice that they're slowly creating this. And then now it became so extreme because they kind of killed off about 1 million people right in our face and told us all kinds of lies. And next thing you know, everybody's like, wait a minute, what the hell? Now.
Yeah.
And then here come the little side stories of, and that's where I just got to get focused on this. Just realize, let's own up to our mistake. We didn't pay attention. Now let's pay attention and take our shit back.
Yeah, exactly.
The video of Hillary being detained. Oh, well, I've seen a video of that. I don't really believe it, Connie, myself. Because I just think I think there's so many other big names that would have actually made that a talking point if there was actual factual. It would be nice. Definitely deserve it for Benghazi and shit. Not to mention probably shit that we don't even know about before that. Grumpy says, went to a city council meeting last Wednesday. The mayor was complaining because people were mean and attacking them on social media when
I saw that.
we were doing things that raised people's taxes and made life hard. See, getting there in their feelings, man. They ain't used to that. More people need to get out there and be loud. Be loud and be proud.
Yeah, exactly. Cause that ruckus. Ruffle those feathers. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, if you're right and you're on the right side, the facts are going to back you up, and facts don't care about feelings. You be loud, you be proud. If you're in America, you're in the greatest country in this world, and we need to just get our moral compass back, and we need to go back to being the best country in the world.
Yes, exactly.
And hey, man, I get it. If you done been whooped so hard that you don't feel like you got anything left in the tank, I get it. You know, you got the Netherlands, you got New Zealand, you got Australia, you got UK, you got all kinds of China. There's all kinds of tons of places.
I heard Ukraine was hard, especially if you're fighting age.
Right. That, or I think if you like to go to raves in Cleve, then that might be a good place to be. They seem to be having some pretty neon jobs going on, them LED laser light shows going on with their rave parties and shit. Dude, I gotta say, when you see some of the footage from down in Cleve and downtown Cleve type shit, you go, wait a minute, I'm sorry. I thought Russians were coming to take you all away. What the hell happened? Y'all are partying like it's 1999.
Right.
No, ma'am, Miss Cheryl. I hadn't heard from him in a minute.
Later, Rabbit. What's up, Sophia B?
What? And no worries, Miss Sophie. No worries at all. Who loves you, baby? I can't get, dude. That comes from at the meetup in Missouri. I told her, because the way she come walking up and she had this red lollipop, and the way she had that up there, and she was like, "Oh, hey, rescue!" And when I looked at her, I told her, I go, "Man, I just can't." It was that Telly Savalas, the Kojak thing, you know, and it was the way he always used to have it. He goes, "Who loves you, baby?"
Right. Of course, there might be some young enough ones in here. They don't remember that show, Rescue.
Yeah, you know, they missed out. Their loss. That was back before the 90210.
Oh, yes, it was. You also had Starsky and Hutch up in there.
Hell yeah, buddy. The original Hood Sliders.
Yep.
Between Starsky and
they made. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say they made drifting popular before it was popular.
Hell yeah. Dude, between the Dukes of Hazzards and Starsky and Hutch, that taught a whole generation how to drive hot rods.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
And then you had old what was it? Steve Majors, the $6 million man, dude, with his remember his jacked up truck.
Man. Yeah. Yep, bunch of good shows on back there. Yeah, taught us how to, if you couldn't go down a dirt road sideways in a hot rod and pull out of it, straighten it up, you hadn't driven yet.
Hell yeah. Oh, and by the way, I read Connie says, have you seen Hillary's WikiLeaks emails that was released? Some of those photos you just can't unsee. And she speaks of pizza and walnut sauce a lot. See, but I will say, and no, I haven't seen those. I will say that I do worry about AI nowadays, and here's why. And it's not a specific thing to just that. It's an overall, and it's that if you and the election was actually a good example. So you look at election and you look at like Sidney Powell, the Kraken, and you had all them. And what happened with that was they saw factual stuff, but then in the way the talk was being put out, then the media helped shift the talking points to where it became, release the Kraken. So you got these catchphrases out the deal. And what ended up happening is the actual factual stance of all their legal points of view lost all their foundation because it got all diluted with all this other, I call it bullshit talk, because it's, and I think that's what's going to happen a lot is they'll be all, that's like the UFO stories. I'm sorry, dude, 60 years old and what, now all of a sudden in Congress, you're going to come out and go that UFOs are real. And it's like, really? Right. Just overnight like that. Just happens to be right here, right now, 2023. Now you're going to do that. Okay, whatever. Such bullshit. And it's because what they don't want you to see is the factual stuff of like bank records that are actually showing Biden's taking actual deposits, checks, items, these things being factual, not like, oh, yeah, you sold us out, fucking shithead, potato head, motherfucker, you sold us out. Blah, blah, blah. I get all that, and I'm not knocking all that, but, and there's a time, that's when you sit around and you got your cigar and you got your damn beer or whatever, and you're going to pitch a bitch. We're venting. There you go. But when it's time to walk in something and you need to bring valid points, you don't talk like that. When you talk like that, you diffuse your whole facts and your validation to your point. So now you got to get on point. And that's why when I like watching the hearings, because the hearings and the committee deals, these are facts because it's all being dictated. It's all being recorded, and you can go read these things later. Of course, it's a big pain in the ass, and boy, what a cluster it is. But you can go read through the Congresses for the last 118 damn near Congresses. You can go read the transcript of those things. And so, see, that's the factual things. Now, when they walk out, they talk this shit to this media. But right as of now, I really think it's important for people to distinguish those. It's like, yeah, you can listen to this hyperbole talk that they did to the camera intentionally to reporters, but go listen to the hearing or the part where they actually were having to introduce facts, because now it gets dated, timed. It's actual facts. It's not just hyperbole. What's up, Ronnie? What's up, Mayhem?
What's up, Mayhem? Yeah, it takes actual labor. It takes actual work. It takes, as we see, that's why they want to make people scared of work, allergic to it, stay away from it, treat it like it's the plague, and nobody puts the work in. They can say whatever they want to the media because that's all the people are looking at for facts, and do what they want when it comes time for them to vote on the floor.
Hold on, I'm reading Gmos. I had to scroll up.
Yeah, I see, Rink, you need to pay attention. You're going to get hurt that way. So he stuck his pen in his mouth instead of a cigarette.
Ah, man, a little ink. It's good for the immune system. So Gmos says, I'm not a
the problem.
She says, I'm not
problem
a
is it really so much
of seeking and exposing truth, exposing corruption, uniting together to fight the corruption and all good intentions. And I don't doubt that, Gmon. Now it's just like when I say the whole QAnon thing, it's not the people, because man, I've said this since I started this. I really think that a lot of this, man, people see what's going on. You don't really know what to do. I've seen it with fires. People get into anxious, stressful things, and they just run around like chickens with their head cut off because they don't know what to do. They want to do something. They just don't know what to do. And so
Yes.
That gave people, but I think that by doing that, they also use that to then go, well, before you guys start to focus too much right here, hey, look over here. And then that kind of keeps, plus it also helps highlight people who might be on a side. So it kind of helps redefine some people. And
Yes.
I think it's
Got
very
to
easy
pull,
to follow the
got to
carrot
pull
on
their
the stick.
head back in the game. You got to
Yeah.
pull their head back in the game. Yeah, I was on the volunteer fire department for 7 years, 2 years of it, second rescue lieutenant. And I've been in some burning buildings, been in the fire training, you know, some of those fire training buildings, man, we got into, you know, you stand up, it's 2,000 degrees at the ceiling.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
you squat down, you know, you're down about 900 degrees. You get down to a crawling position, that's about 500 degrees, you know, and then it's all smoked out too. And you're dealing with the heat that's so hot that, I mean, it's being in an environment that you're just not used to. And some people will panic if they don't have a quick grasp of things going chaos real quickly. And they'll snap, they'll freeze, they'll do whatever, you know what I mean? And, you know, I've seen a lot of trainees go running out the building, you know, they couldn't handle it, you know, and luckily I was just raised with the grit, enough poorness and enough just having to survive that, you know, that kind of shit. Yeah. What else you got to throw at me? You know, that was kind of my fortitude about the whole shit, you know,
Well, we do
and
that with training
it paid
with
off,
every,
you know, it helped me when we needed.
well, we do that with training. It's like the military basic. Basic is designed that way. It's you're taking people from all walks of life, from all over, and then you're going to put them through this physical regimen. And you're doing that so that you can take all these various ways of lifestyles and you're going to slowly break them down into this. And then now you're all going to come out of this at the same okay, first off, too, let me redefine this because I've realized this. So my shit goes back to the beginning of the 80s. So this whole 2023 version of this military, I don't know. I don't know about all these little whiny cards and shit that, you know, no, this is back when you got punched in the gut, you know, you got knocked in the back of the head. Shit happened when you didn't listen. But the idea was you basically break everybody down, and we did in fire school. It's the same way. You want to kind of break everybody down in a certain aspect because you need to get rid of preconceptions, you know, hesitations, nervousness of it, anxieties, and then you want to rebuild that into more of a uniform so everybody is at least on a collective of the basis. And you do that so that you have more of a uniform cohesion. Well, on a political level with the government and getting people to do the voice, that's going to be a little different because people are so international now with this, let's feed the world, let's save the world, you know, we're all in it together. And I'm not knocking other countries, you know, ranks down under, love him like a brother. We've got Monique up in Canada. We've got people over in the UK, all over, you know. But every country has to stand on their own 2 feet. It's kind of like every house. Every house has to stand on its own 2 feet. Well, it's time for us to get back. And that's why I just hate to see any, and I call it anti-American because, man, this country is awesome. And I think we just got to go back to that. And I think it's easy with the stories to get sidetracked because you get stressed out. Hell, look at the damn depression.
Exactly.
What happened during that? You had people literally jumping out of windows and doing all kinds of shit because they didn't even know how to function in life because they had just lost everything and they had done, and that was way back then. But because that they had gotten to this, they didn't know what to do now that all that was gone. It was like, oh my God, they never even connected that, okay, I just have to start over. They just thought it was all done. And that, think about the concept of that.
I know that you got like only one shot in this life. I mean, there's been people that's gone through this life that's lost everything 3 or 4 times, started over, rebuilt, lost it again, you know, and just kept going. And that's the mentality that you got to have in this world. If not, there's 2 choices for you. You're either going to fight your way through this damn life or you're going to lay down and die. There's your choices. 2 choices when you get down to the end of it all. I mean, that's what's at the end of the rope for you. Fight your way through it till you can't fight no more, or die. Lay down and die.
Well, and I'm a faith-based person, so I believe in the Creator, I believe in God and Jesus, and so I do. And like I said earlier, it's like I wake up, I figure I'm put here for another day, and I need to do something. Well, when you really stop and look at that and go, okay, fine, however you want to view that, but you woke up. So if you woke up, so you're here today. Why not go into the day trying to do something to the positive, something that brings a smile, something that brings something positive to the mix, something that makes somebody's day, something that makes something easier or more beneficial. Why not look at a goal like that instead of waking up and going, oh man, it sucks, I'm here. I've been there, so I can understand that. That's how I came into I was a very depressed mode when I started this. But
Right.
if you realize it and you think about that, then at some point you got to, I don't know how to say that very nicely, but dude, at some point you got to realize it's like you are your own problem. So, you got to look in the mirror when you look at the cause of the problem, because what are you doing to make the situation better?
That gets back to what I just said, is that you're either going to do something or you're going to lay down and die. Because as a human, we can get so depressed and so downtrodden that we don't take care of ourselves, and we can cause ourselves. I mean, there's people that's died out of, just loneliness, people that's died, from heartbreak, and we will take ourselves out if we get in a low enough place. And you got to realize at that point, when you're at that brink, that last line, that last breath, that you either gone too far and you can't turn around now, or you're going to have to fight. You're going to have to fight from that moment for life, and it comes in many different forms. You either fighting to take a breath, you're fighting to get something to eat, you're fighting to walk, you're fighting to go to work, you're, to earn money, to take care of yourself. You're fighting to stack food, learn things. I mean, these kids today don't realize that you're going to have struggles from beginning to end. And it's okay, because you're not the only one who's struggling. Everybody's struggling in a different way. We see it, it affects us differently at different times. But
Well, then people's version of stress is different. How much people stress over some kind of a monetary, materialistic item. Oh, we need a new vehicle. Well, why? Well, we need this. Well, what is it, materialistic or monetary, that adds so much stress to life? That's why I say it's all this fancy foo-ha-ha stuff. And it's like, that's why I think of all this, the digital age. I think it has people fucked up and confused, pardon my French, but it just, because you lose sight of that. It's like I said it yesterday with Backwoods and Hutch, and we were talking, and it's like, fine, here's the straight up truth of it. Everybody's so, smart now, and with the YouTube videos and Rumble and Odyssey and BitChute, and fine, how many people since in the past 2 years have been down to their local county town hall meetings or their city council meetings and actually filled out presentation things and got up before them and listed out factual shit that's wrong with their city codes or their county laws? How many people that bitch about their taxes have been down there to the actual tax assessor's office and even met them face to face, much less went down and said, what, we're not, if you're going to keep these high tax rates up, we won't vote for you. And then actually went and started to make progress trying to find some other tax assessor to vote in. How many people actually get the fuck involved in your local shit instead of sitting on a keyboard and a screen looking at some video of some dude telling you that some shit overseas is now controlling everything and you're just doomed? But by God, you just hang in there and you just keep watching. $9.95, subscribe to the next month's episode, because one day the white shiny horse is going to come riding in and save the day. I mean, what kind of shit is that, man? Come on, let's get involved. You want to talk about the school board shit? People talk about all this shit that's being taught in schools. Well, what do you see happening in that? There's no little weird shit that's happening off in some things. What you had was moms that said, wait a minute, you're teaching my kids what? Okay, Hey, did you
Yep.
know that they're teaching our kids this? So guess what? They collectively started going down to the school board meetings. Then all of a sudden they got labeled as like, oh my God, this is like a threat. Why? Because they were making an active stance with their voice. So why don't people do that with their town halls, with their city meetings? It works. That's why the school boards, that's why school moms, mama bears are being considered
Well,
domestic
when that,
terrorists almost because they're scared of the school boards. Why? Because they're down there actually saying, hey, this is what you're doing, which is then putting it out in the open. They're not screaming and holding up cuss word signs and shit. They're literally going down there going, okay, I filed my thing. I want my 2 minutes at the podium. Here's my podium time. I'm going to start reading excerpts from the books that you're trying to hide from the public of what you're teaching. Blah, blah, blah. Wait, blah, blah. Wait, no. And this is going out and it's having an impact because all of a sudden they're starting to pay attention to the shit that's being taught to kids. So guess what happens if you did that at your city or your county level? Bam, you got city and county changes. Sorry, it's just straight up facts.
You know what woke them up out of that? You know what woke them up out of that coma too, don't you? Was that big thing that caused everybody to stay at home, and then when
That's
parents were seeing
all of
their
a sudden they
kids
started walking in them
doing that
rooms
home learning
and they were
on
starting to
YouTube.
listen to that shit
Yep.
that they were telling their kids going, wait a minute,
Yes.
what are you telling my kid?
Yeah, on that government computer that they give them to take home so they could do these courses, moms and them started hearing what was going on in these conference calls in these conference classrooms. And that's when the shit hit the fan. And you started seeing a lot more people waking up to what was going on in their schools. Then you started seeing a big flood of people started hitting these school boards, going, hey, come into these meetings. It woke people up when the whole time they should have been attending these meetings to begin with. And there were some, there was some you always see someone out there, but sometimes it's like an older couple that has, no children in the home. They're just listening to what's going on in their community and not really the parents there. But that woke that up, and now you see how they've reacted to it. They've so used to having the power and having the parents be sleepy and just let what goes on in the schools goes on because you trusted the schools. Well, now that's turned and flipped. And now you see they're getting all offensive. They're getting all, defensive with everything. Oh, no, you can't be in here. You're a terrorist. Get out of here. You can't be telling us that. We do what we want in here. And then you got the school unions backing all that crap up too. You see how they reacted when it came to closing the schools down and how the union for the school boards, how they were reacting like, no, we're going to keep everything closed down and you'll open back up when we say you open up. It's like, no,
Well,
that's not how this
by
is
doing
going to
that,
go.
it also exposed the federal control. And people started going, well, wait a minute, why are the feds all in our schools? So see, it's those things. And that's all I'm going to tell anybody, whether it's the Q movement, whether it's the Billy Bob at the Borders movement, I don't care, whatever movement. If it doesn't represent like the mama bears with the school boards, if you don't see anybody that's like now become collectively going, wait a minute, they're doing what? Okay, then we're going to group together and go say something and make a change. Then it's really just digital bullshit. Because it's going to take boots on the ground stuff. It's going to take people getting involved. And so unless something's actually encouraging I just call bullshit.
That's why I say too, I mean, people get it confused. It's going to take strong men and strong women, to get through this. It's going to take strong family units.
Well, and it's the court thing. I'll say Navy vet, which by the way, what's up, Navy vet? He brought up, with Fauci and all that shit and, how there needs to be accountability. People didn't need to forget. And then I saw Jim on that. I was like, why he's not in bracelets. And see, but here's the thing. What you do is you don't forget those things. Those are crimes that were committed. But here's the facts, whether we like them or not, but these are the facts. The Republican side is not in full control of all the branches. So all they can do is purse strings in the House. The Senate is still under Democratic control, which is who he was pumping the message for. So they're not going to hold him accountable. And the White House is what he was pushing the message for. So he's not going to hold him accountable. So you don't lose sight of it. But what you do is you say, okay, so what we need in order to get these people to be held accountable, we need that House and the Senate and the White House. And we need those filled with people that are under the banner of holding them accountable. And once that gets achieved, then bam, we can hold them accountable. And I get it. And I'm going to go ahead and cut it off at the bud when people go, yeah, but it's not going to matter. Well, we haven't got there yet. So you can't say it won't work until we actually try it and it doesn't work. And then you can say, see, it didn't work. Then it'll be like, fine, we go to plan B.
Yeah.
As of right now, we have an electoral system set up. We have a judicial system. Whether it's all balanced is not the question. They are intact. They are here. And we just need to get back invested in it. We need to become active members of this freedom society. Instead of just being the couch riders, we need to actually be active participants, which is participating in your local stuff. Changing your local stuff translates into state stuff, which translates into federal stuff.
Exactly. It's got to start on the ground and the roots. It's got to.
Any drive, any put that's not promoting local as the starting ground, to me is just bullshit, and it's a distraction, and it's to keep you busy on sidetrack shit while they take over your judges, while they take over your local DAs, while they take over your local tax assessors so that they can tax you out of your shit, where they change out the judges so they can prosecute you for being the domestic terrorist because you went down and questioned your school board, where they can have the local DA under the payroll to where they can decide to charge you and not charge the damn criminals. You know, see, that's how that shit starts happening. You know how you end up with a Chicago? It's because people didn't pay attention to the DAs. We have one down here. We have Harris County. Sheila Jackson's actually trying to run for, I think, the mayor of Houston, and that's just great. That's all we need is some batshit crazy running over one of the largest human trafficking populace. We'll see. I'll tell anybody down in Harris County, you want to bitch about Harris County? Well, then why are you living in there? How come you're not down there changing that shit? I know the county I live in isn't nothing like that. I know the county where I live, you're not going to come down here and block some intersection. I know the county where I live at, you're not going to go down here and block the damn local little Walmart and shit. You're not going to go in here and start ransacking stores. And you're not going to go in here and start trashing vehicles. You're not going to light buildings on fire down here. That shit people didn't even know that shit was happening down around here. That's how isolated it was down here. What makes that different? I don't live in no fucking special place. What it is we have a smaller county. And by having that local smaller county, it's like I said before, it's hard to have deputies that treat you like shitheads whenever you went to school, when your kid went to school with them, or like the tax assessor,
right.
when their grandkids go to school with your grandkids. All of a sudden, it's hard to sit in that little office and go, I'm going to screw everybody out of their little property taxes. No, because we have one Walmart, we have, one Brookshire's, we have one HEB. And so you're going to run into these people. Hey, what's up, Tiger? And so that makes a difference where when you get into these major metropolitan areas,
Anthony? Hey, Tiger.
Hey, Miss Ellen.
Hey, Ellen.
What's up, Anthony?
Yeah, it's, when they picked the Patriot tree and they said it needed to be watered with the blood of patriots, and oppressors. They also picked that tree because that's how our government, our system works, because everything bleeds upwards. So if you don't start on your ground level with your judges and with your sheriffs and with your local, politicians, mayors, whatever, that stuff bleeds upwards. You get the right people thinking, you know what I mean? Because these people, they fall into a lifestyle of where they want to move up in this type of governmental assistance. If they can get along with being able to be in the leadership position and go through all the politics of whether it just be through a mayorship, and then into the Senate, you know what I mean? Or, they keep moving up into government, because even when they get into government, you see there's like a popularity contest in the whole government system. That's why they tag these politicians as juniors or as freshmen, you know what I mean? They kind of label them already on a status symbol. And when you get in there, it's all about popularity contest from there, because popularity is what keeps you in there, during elections. But not only that, it moves you up within the status of the people inside of government to be able to rub elbows, to be put in the right committees in the right positions to where, you're keeping that popularity, and you're also making things happen that either work and benefit for your people, but most of the time not, it works and benefit for them. Some deal gets made, some family member, some book, some business, whatever. It works for them somehow.
How many times do we everybody gripes about how the federal government pisses off our tax money and how they're, just sending our tax dollars overseas, and I think people have lost sight of that. But do you understand the power of that phrase? It's called the tax. In other words, the federal government can't do shit.
Yeah.
If we're not paying them to do it. Well, if you stand up at your local and your local bleeds over into your state stands up against the federal government and says, you know what? We're not taking your federal handouts on our education. Our education is going to be our own shit. Well, all of a sudden now they don't have no say. They've been cut off. When you do that, and Kennedy's been bringing up the health care, and how it's gone up three times since they did the Affordable Care Act, and it's when we pay attention to those little things. And that's why I focus on that, because it's so easy to get sidetracked on the bigger picture and be like, oh man, look at the, what the government's doing. Okay, that's cool. The government is doing it. How do we change that? Yeah. Oh, well, we can de-seat them. I mean, it can happen. Do you realize that we literally kicked the king of England to the curb? So don't tell me we can't get rid of a Mitch McConnell or some shit or a potato head. We kicked and at the time, by the way, let's go 100% history. At the time we kicked the king to the curb, that was also the strongest army in the world at the time. So not only did we give him the finger, but we actually went up against the strongest army to say we've had enough. So it can be done.
Yep.
Matter of fact, I'll tell you what, people ought to grab a glass of tea, roll you a cigarette, pack you a bowl or whatever, and we're going to take about a 10-minute little listening break. And I got a little clip for you from Hillsdale College on the Constitution. And this is actually lesson 1 of 101 Constitution. So y'all grab you something to drink, turn this up. Papa, if you'll mute your mic, I'm going to mute mine whenever I press play. And y'all just sit back and listen to it. This is one of the heads of the school, and he's doing lesson 1. And it's the connection between the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, but it's the way the intro goes. And I think it's good to really kind of just slow your roll and let's go back to basics. So take a listen. Let me turn my little volume up here up. We're good. Right to there. And then now, here we go.
If you're going to have a free government, you're going to have a form of the government, because a free government requires a lot of people participate in the government. The governed have to participate in the government. And to do that, you have to have a form. You have to have some established way by which people participate. It has to stay the same over time, or else they'll be changing it all the time, and then soon enough, just a few will run it. Well, our Constitution is the most successful thing like that in human history, and things like that have been known since the ancient world. None has lasted so long as ours. The Constitution is authoritative, or it's supposed to be, and so why would the Declaration of Independence matter? My own belief is that you would never give a full account of the United States of America without a rich understanding of those two things and the relationship between them, one of them being the formal cause of the United States of America and one of them being the final cause. Casey, are you showing off?
He's walking in with his class of his students.
Okay, so what's a country?
A country has borders?
That's the latest news, isn't it? Yeah, and okay, so that's the edge of a country. What's inside there?
It's a group of citizens that have engaged in a contract together to be ruled by the same government.
So it takes contract, according to modern political thought. But there's an interesting sentence in the Declaration of Independence that we will read. See if we can find it. So it says, whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, lay its foundation on such principles. So we can change the government. It's a right. But then what follows from that?
We kind of have a duty to establish a new set of rules and law.
So the Declaration of Independence doesn't contemplate life without government, does it? Right? And what's the first objection against the king?
He hasn't given those laws.
He has refused his assent to laws, most wholesome and necessary. So that's like something classical, isn't it? Because in the classical world, mankind, human beings, are the social and political animals. And they don't talk of having a right to make a contract, to establish a government. And this does. And yet, on the other hand, this other thing in here that we need, made to live under law. And it's worth remarking that because it means we're talking about something important. Here at Hillsdale College, as you all know, right, you all have different majors. Everybody studies everything fundamental. This is something fundamental. You're going to live under laws because of the kind of thing you are. And if you live under bad laws, you're going to be miserable. And it's very common for people to live under bad laws. And that's one of the points of this document, the Declaration of Independence. We need good laws. And if we don't get them, we have a right to rebel. And that means kill the people who deny them to us, which is what they proceeded to do after this document. And the people were very strong who were ruling America. This he who has refused his assent to laws the most wholesome and necessary is a really important guy. He's the King of England, the strongest power on earth. And we have a right and a duty to kick him out of here. And we're going to do it. So that's what the document is about. What does it say? The Declaration of Independence is one of the most influential documents in all of human history. It gives a picture of the whole order of nature, and it proceeds from that whole order down finally to what the classics call the utmost particular, the definite thing to be done right now. How does it begin?
It begins in very general terms in that it can be applied, it's not specific to America, it can be applied. Human events means really any time, one people can be any people.
Universally, right. Isn't that interesting? So who are these guys and where are these guys when they do this? They're all guys. One of them was John Adams, who was a really brilliant and great man, but not as brilliant or great as his wife, who gave him happily in writing detailed advice about everything he did, and he mostly took it. Really great man.
The more you know.
Where are they?
Apart from the ones that are oppressing them, separated by an ocean.
Yeah, I mean, when they're writing this document, right, they're in Philadelphia. And Philadelphia is on the sea, and Britain is a great sea power. Risky place to be. There were people looking for them. A writ had been issued for their arrest. And if they had been found by the army, not a police force, they were not going to be dragged up in front of local courts independent from the king. They were going to be taken back to England, ripped from their families months away. right, to be tried in front of strangers, which is what was going on, which is one of the complaints in the middle. And what's interesting about this is they begin universally, but how does it end? Let's look at the last sentence. And for the support. Somebody read this.
And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
What else do they have to pledge except those things? That's a pledge of everything, right? We pledge all of that, and who do they pledge it to?
And this is important.
Each other?
Yeah, you know the war literature, right? People do uncommonly brave things on battlefields, and many people do it. And most of those people didn't think they could before they did. One of the themes that emerges from the battlefield literature is they do it for each other. They don't want to get shot. They can't stand the image of their friend getting shot. Can't bear it. They love, right? These guys are in this room. It's actually the room where the Constitution was written, too, later. They're in this room, and they're promising each other. See, that's a big pledge, and a pledge of everything. And in the name of who do they make this pledge?
Divine providence.
Yeah. Who's that?
Their creator.
Yeah.
As was mentioned in the beginning of the Declaration of Independence.
So God, right? They swear to God and to each other. We have fraternities at Hillsdale College, and I won't say that they're not sometimes a little naughty. And they all take pledges, oaths, to join the fraternity. And the oaths are all the same. They're all 19th century Christian organizations, these fraternities. And we're big oath takers around here, as you know. We're just like these guys writing the Declaration of Independence. So all you got to do is remind them of their oath. You know, what'd you do? They, kind of, well, And you say, well, I forget now. What'd you promise to do in your oath to your fraternity? And it's always, all of the oaths are to God and each other. Many of them to the college, too. That means I really got them, right? They got to straighten up now. And it's a big deal with war pending, right? And this is particular, right? The people in the room, about 4 times as many as is around this table, swear to each other. I swear to Emily, and Emily swears to me. And that means later, we don't do it. We know the name and can picture the face of the person who's going to disapprove, who's been betrayed, right? And that's as particular as it can possibly get. But it begins, was it Casey who said that? Universally? No, it wasn't.
That was Garrison.
Good job. Yeah. It begins universally. It begins without reference to any place or any people, but to every place and every people. And it ends with the utmost particularity. If you think every choice you make, you've always got some sense of right when you make a choice. This document moves from this ultimate sense of right that we all carry down to the particular circumstances in which they are going to act right now. And the whole document is a connected chain from the general to the particular. And it's exactly the process every one of us goes through every time we make a hard choice. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. And what are they doing except making a really hard choice? What's in the middle that connects the very beginning, the universal part, with this final conclusion that they make is the list of particulars. And so what kinds of things are those?
Imposing taxes on us without consent.
Quartering troops in people's homes. Dissolving representative houses repeatedly.
Think of those. All 3 of those are the same thing. All 3 of those are failing to represent. They put their troops up in our houses, which means they're taking our houses. Where are we going to live, right? And they disband the legislature. And we're going to talk about these more when we get to the Constitution, but I mention them here now because there's actually an outline of the Constitution of the United States in the middle of the Declaration of Independence. It's an amazing thing. And the chief elements of the Constitution are listed here in the negative sense that the king violated them.
That was lesson 1. Lesson 2 will be tomorrow morning. I'm gonna start copying
A lot
those.
of good, a lot of good things said in that. A lot of good points made.
Well, and one thing I thoroughly enjoy it is because it just, you got to disconnect from the here and now, and the movie shit, anything, disconnect from this. And I really enjoy just closing my eyes and I listen to him. And as he's talking, I can picture that. It's like you're back in that time. Dude, there's no phones. There's no, backup. There's no groups of people. You're talking like maybe, I think at that particular time over here in the colonies, all total was like maybe, I think it was 1.5. I'll have to look that up. 1.2, 1.5 million people in all the colonies. So that whole, area. And so, and then you're fixing to pick a fight, dude. You're throwing down the gauntlet. You've gone around, and that's been going on. People have been being picked up. And you've said, no, it's now. And you know that when you do this, dude, it'd be like you deciding right now that you're fixing to go do something that's going to put you on the most wanted list. And it's not that you're a criminal.
If you came home from,
you're fixing to say something so righteous and hold somebody accountable. It's not that you're breaking a law, but you're fixing to become the most targeted individual. You're going to be hunted down, and you just kind of got to go, holy shit, yeah, man. And then that's why I think I get passionate whenever people want to do the whole America, it's all been the same. It's all been sold out. And because it's like, no, dude, do you realize what they did to create this place? I mean, this was literally like in the middle of the hood, dude. They pretty much decided that, okay, we ain't going to do the hood no more. And they proceeded to have a throwdown. And at the end of the day, they went over the hood and transformed it into a beautiful neighborhood. And we're slowly letting it go back into the hood, but we need to take it back. Tiger, that is, his name is Larry, I want to say it's Larry Farm or something like that. He's Hillsdale College. I'm going to see if I can. Let's see, we're going to go. Well, that'll get me close enough. It's my link to the Federalist Papers because I like that. And then here I'm going to post this in here, and I'm going to go here. And what I would see, man, here's the thing. Okay. Oh boy, this ain't going to go over very well, but it's me, man. So it is what it is. If you don't like it, now's the time to decide. But,
right.
You want to, all the Q movement, all the little crazy people channels following this, that, and the other. Go sign up at online.hillsdale.edu. There's Hillsdale College. You can sign on online courses for free. You don't have to engage with nobody if you don't want to. You can just listen to the videos if you want. You can, it's dude, it's right on shit is all I can say. And it's not radical shit. So it's not like they're talking about, Democrats, this or not. This is education. So if you want to get rid of if you want to weed your way through the muck and the bullshit, and you want to kind of go back to just some basic truth and basic facts and real life shit, go invest an hour a day. Hell, get up in the morning and drink some coffee and listen to one of those. Just refresh yourself. Get out of all this digital. Go ahead, Papas.
No, I was just going to say exactly. I mean, there's so much caught up in the fluff of left or right or Democrat, Republican, conservative, left leaning, right leaning, just the fluff of it all. Let's get back to what the Constitution said, how we were meant to abide by laws, the rights we have, the decency we expect out of a community, out of people around us, and make sure that, it's basic living. I mean, it's simple, it's simplicity. It's cut out already for you. It's worked in the past. Quit trying to step away from, what's not broken. I mean, you say you're doing it for betterment, but are you really? Because this doesn't look better to me.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, people, when you think about how it's gotten so directed to where people have lost sight of the foundation of this country, which is actually what created all these freedoms, and I say it's like the crap to me with the slavery thing. That still blows my mind, because it's like, really? So you lose sight of the fact that it was actually this country's foundation is actually what put the brakes on that shit. Because if it hadn't been for the foundation of this country, that shit was happening all around the world, and it would still be happening to this day, like it still is in the back rooms of places, if it wasn't for this country. So to hold, and yet that becomes some main talking point for here. And it's like, what? Man, you need to look at that. I know, but maybe it's me living in the down here in the southern part in Texas. Maybe it's because Texas is a unique state of the union. Maybe that's part of it, is my surroundings growing up, although I've been all over. Hell, I did basic at Fort Dix, New Jersey. And so, but maybe it's just, I don't know, you grow, because for me, it's like the wagon trains, and it's like, you're talking about people that literally packed things in a wagon and had a team of 2 mules, 4 mules, whatever they could get at the beginning, man. And they commenced to taking off. And they might even have started out as a damn family of 12. And by the time they got to where they were going, they were down to 4 fucking people left, and they had 1 mule left. But by God, when they got there, they built the damn fire. They killed them some game. They made some supper, and they went out there and commenced to building a fucking home. And next thing you know, 20 years later, that this town has been named after this family, and it's generations deep. And so I guess to then hear people just digitally jump into things about everything is corruption, everything was sold out from the beginning. It's like, I don't know where you're from, but not here, buddy. Here, you can feel free to go up here to Nacogdoches, Texas, one of the oldest towns in Texas. And you're not going to meet no Rothschild Illuminati type bullshit. You're going to meet good, hardcore people. Do some of them are fucked up now? Hell yeah. But then, I mean, I see families that started out rock solid and they got kids that are fucked up. I mean, shit happens. So that's not how it all started. It started with hard work, breaking a sweat, putting boots to work. And if it was done once, then that means it can be done again. So don't tell me what can't work when I got proof that it did, because here we are. Your vote doesn't matter. Your vote doesn't matter. Really? I bet some British fucker said that too, about the time right before that lead piece knocked that noggin, and all of a sudden, by God, we established that flag. Matter of fact, I want to say the Star Spangled Banner kind of has some shit story to that, almost like it's like they sat out there on a boat going, man, you know what? I don't know what the hell them people think. This is not going to go good for them. I mean, like, we're going to like level the place. Like, I don't think you understand the quality of the people over there. You just don't know.
Exactly.
And they proceed to bombard the shit out of it. And it's like, but wait a minute, the flag doesn't keep going down. What the hell is this going on, man?
Yeah.
And it's like, but wait a minute, we need to bomb that shit some more. You bomb that shit some more. It's like, but it still didn't go down. What the hell? And it's like, I don't know, man. I think these people got some fucking fortitude we weren't planning on. Oh, you think? And bam, get the hell up out of here, homie.
Now take the vision away from the boat and move it inside of the building that they were bombarding. You have men that would stand there knowing that where they were at could be bombed with a big cannonball at any time, but they held that flag.
Dude, you had men that were literally propped up against dead brothers. help holding
Yes.
that pole up because
Yes.
their brother
And
had done
when
gone down. They done climbed up
one
there
man
with him
would
and was holding.
die, another man would move in to hold it up. Yep. And they just piled up the dead bodies. I mean, but they held that flag up. And that's what they underestimated. The British underestimated the grit. And that's what we're losing as a society. We're losing that grit to be that next person, knowing that I'm going to die doing what I'm about to do next. But you know
Hey, Nick.
what? For this fucking country, it's worth it because I know my children, my grandchildren, they'll have a place that they can live without having to worry about raping and pillaging and laws and tyranny and all kinds of other things that were going on.
I said it yesterday too. And now think about the concept of this too. So the moment we were founded, they didn't get their ass kicked and go off in peace and just said, okay, we give it over to
Yeah.
you. We've had a target on our back ever since. So that's another reason why I always questioned any source that's coming that wants to question the foundation of America. It's like, wait, where are you coming from? Because there's some backbone shit into this.
Yeah, that's exactly.
3 rank. And it's just, see, because that was that strive for freedom, because you had people that were literally having troops come in and take their shit from them, and they were seeing that happen to their neighbor, and then they're housing their neighbor, they're helping them, and they're like, man, what the hell is going on? And it's like, yeah, this ain't right. We have our legislative thing, and see, people need to go back and look at how we kind of grew to the colony thing, and how the Indian French War was actually a deciding factor in a lot too, and you look at how the world was happening right then. And we said, no, you know what? We're over here. You're over there. You know what? No.
Yeah.
And we stood up for that. And then the people all around looked at that and said, yeah, and you hear the story about the 3%, yeah, well, think about the concept of that. That was down to the number. And it's like, there's 3% left and they're holding the line. And we also had outside help. We had the French come in and help. So, because we were righteous in what we were doing, we were establishing something that hadn't been founded, and other people were like, hey, that's got, yeah. Hey, they ought to be able to do that if they want. Well, see, that sparked stuff, but that also put a target on our back because we sent ripples of change around the whole ball of dirt. And while, yeah, you still got communist countries, but they ain't all out beheading people out in the open and shit like they used to do.
Right. What's up, Ohio? Yeah, I'll take my turn holding that pole too.
There you go, Poppies.
Nick
I forgot
said,
where
this
that
ain't
come out of.
Yeah, Nick said this ain't no video game. You're right, Nick. It sure isn't.
Yeah, this ain't Call of Duty episode 10 or whatever the fuck.
And that's right, Poppy. Pappy Two Bears. Exactly.
Exactly, Ellen. Actually,
Yeah, Ellen.
You got to bring fortitude back. Who would have thought that? But yep, that's it, man. You got to get people just to. But see, that's why I don't. Yeah, there's a part of me that, yes, sarcastically, it dogs on the whole. And I hate to say conspiracy thing because that gets translated the other way with what they use that term to hide the shit that they pull. But this whole spin-off story stuff, all that stuff, I get really, I don't mean to dog it in a way. I do. The bad part of me that I'm trying to change wants to, because that's just kind of the rude individual that I used to be. I had no problem doing that, just very bluntly, but I'm trying to be more polite and a little more compassionate, understanding.
Right.
And so I get it. It's really just slow down. Look at the basics. It's kind of like, I don't know. People at fire school, you used to watch people that they've never been exposed to this, and they see a pump fire go off and they freak out, and they always shoot at the biggest ball a flame that they can see because that's what got their attention. And it's like, well, but that's not doing any good. Oh, yeah. And it's like, no, you got to get to the base. You got to go to the base to put it out. You can shoot at the big ball up there, and it's just going to keep producing a big ball. You got to go to the base to then all of a sudden extinguish it. And it's just, but you watch people overreact every time you light that little wellhead on. And they start shooting it all up at the top of the wellhead. And they go, and you're going, what are you doing? So, oh, we got to get it.
Exactly.
And they're fighting the hose. Why? Because they're stressed out. They're freaking. Anxiety's kicking in because they really don't know what they're doing, but they're trying their damnedest. And so you kind of got to go up and you kind of got to go, no, here's how we do this. And once you kind of show them, then it's like, oh, I got you. So then all of a sudden you light it on and then they go, oh, gotcha. And they're not shaking. They're not waving it around.
Exactly.
They're not freaking. They hit the base and it goes, and it goes, you got it.
It's just that realizing that quit trying to fight the fire and fight it at the base of the fire, and you'll take away its fuel. I mean, there's a triangle there that you got to understand with fuel. You know, there has to be heat. You know, there has to be air, and there has to be a source. Exactly. You know, and take away one of those, you're not going to have a fire.
I don't know. You know what, Ellen? Fear can also be to face everything and relish. You relish in that moment. Just face it. You were built to withstand it. So.
Yeah. Fear is a great indicator of things if you learn to not let it control you. If you control it, the fear, you know when to let it tell you when to fight. You let it know when to tell you when it's time to run. It'll give you a sense of common sense if you learn to control it and don't let it control you. That's how I see fear anyway.
Right. Oh no, G-Mon, man. See, that's what I mean. Don't get me wrong. I'm not because I'm sincere when I say I'm not trying to be insultive to everybody, you know, that even read the Q stuff from the beginning, even up to now. I get a little critical with some of the ones that are basically it's the Joel Osteens of the Q world. You know, it's basically that way or that's all. That it's not even open. It's like, no, that's the ones that's like, okay, that's kind of like cultish kind of shit, you know, but that's just a behavior thing. It's not associated to just the Q thing. It's just the whole behavior in general. Because if you're not open to just basic stuff, it's kind of like the whole flat earth thing. And it's like, I don't know. So I get it. And I think that a lot of people, because there were things, everybody wanted to hear something. Everybody wants, it's like Fauci. Everybody wants to see the little shit in cuffs because everybody watched him break laws that they know were illegal. They watched him lie. They watched these things happen, and everybody's wanting to see some recourse because that was the world we were used to. We saw things happen and then we saw repercussions. And then all of a sudden the little coof shit come up and Orange Man Bad became the thing. And while we're shifting the powers to be and we're stealing this from the people, we need to start sequestering people. We're changing the media. And when you think about it, man, the last 3 years have changed the dynamic of the country so much. It's unbelievable. I mean, I thought 6 years ago had changed it, but the last 3. And so I know people mean well, and that's why I just want to encourage people to, you know, hey man, you know, you want to read the Daily Q post and see, but let's keep a foot over here in this puddle just because it's a nice warm, it's mineral fresh and it's good for the soul. So if you just keep at least a couple of toes over in this one, like the Hillsdale thing, you know, and doing some just basic Constitution stuff, you know, foundation stuff, then hey man, if you want to dabble over there, I'm cool. It's just when you get lost into that, then there's no solution there. There's no, oh, here's the latest and greatest, but this is the plan. It tells you to follow the plan, but there's really no target. So there's no achievement goal where if you follow the creation of this country, you can see a success record all the way up to the part to where we're sitting here on the internet talking across the country to each other, you know. So we've come a long way, baby.
Exactly.
And by the way, Sophie,
That's
I just
what we
want to
used
say,
to
ma'am,
call,
I do feel for you and all the kids, and I hope that you guys get to feeling better. I totally understand how that feels. I spent my time in the bed and then
Right.
felt like shit, and I wish I could offer anything more than my prayers for you, ma'am.
Exactly.
And D-Dog's just a cannon fool.
It's like, yeah, he done put a bunch of potato soup up, looks like. Said he feeds 20 people with his food.
Yeah, because I got to say, and it's like Michigan, you know, there's a good, you got old Whitmer up there, and see, as that state starts to gather up, they'll be able to get rid of her. You can de-seat her ass just like they got through vacating the seat with McCarthy. You can actually do that to the governors, to all them people. Every elected official can be de-seated. You just got to get the collective thought. And see, and there's where I jump in again on why I think it's important to just do that collective basic thought. I get all the Q and all the every other thing else, but it's just, at least because it's going to take that collective, and that's what they're scared of. They're scared of that collective power. When the majority of voices speak unison, it's got a resonating sound that they can't ignore. You gotta wonder what aliens think of Earth. Last month they were lobotomizing pumpkins, and now they're shoving bread up a turkey's ass. This planet has issues. Oh, right, Navy vet.
That's about how they're probably looking at it too.
Rank, are you still in chat? I'm sorry. I did not mean to ignore you earlier when you were wondering about the link. I wasn't done with my tirade, and I didn't figure Papa's was probably going to be done with his. So I wanted to do my video, but now I've slowed my roll a little.
Yep. Yeah, that's it. You know, you got to, it's okay to get passionate about it as long as you remember to bring yourself back to the center.
That's it. You got to just center yourself. Right, Michigan. See, and there's actually Michigan brought up a good part. They say we've been trying with petitions and paperwork, Outwork County and it's great. It's the libtards in Detroit. See, because there's those mass voices that they've concentrated into those metropolitan areas. But you can start to whittle away at that. You know, you whittle away. Oh, there you go. D-Dog says, oh, Hitler there lost all executive powers on August 2020. Michigan doesn't play. She may have the title, however, with very limited power. Okay, there you go. See, they've been doing stuff. They just need to get rid of her, and then that way it'd send a visual message too.
And that's the way you do sometimes.
They escorted her out of that office and down them steps and shit, and that it's like, yeah, that footage goes around. It's like, aha, turning of the tide. Because that's what I mean. I think people want to, everybody's waiting to see some visual of a changing of the tide. And I think that's how they bumfuzzle people with the red wave thing. I think there was going to be a red wave. I think they had people shooting so high and seeing so high that they lost sight of the lower ones that happened. And so we didn't quite get the power wave that we were supposed to, because it was focusing on the bigger one, you know. But now, if people will concentrate that, you show up, your voice matters, and you can change the dynamics.
Exactly.
Earth is the trailer park of the galaxy. Trailer park, boys. Oh, I guess Rank might have passed out.
That's giving Earth a little bit of credit there. Especially when you look at all the space junk out there floating around around the Earth.
You remember when I was showing everybody those satellites, they're floating all around. I think I think that kind
Yeah.
of threw some people off. It's like you didn't quite get the visual till all of a sudden you realize, like, oh no, we're swimming around a ball of shit.
We done junked this planet up.
And Ellen says, and they got to start showing the rest of all these higher ups on TVs and stuff in here so we can see that they all got arrested. The big corrupt. Yeah, because there's only so much that can happen. But when you look at the little things, it's like the Mike Johnson, the new speaker guy. I got a little bent how he decided that he first thing he does is do this whole Ukraine money. I mean, not Ukraine money, but Israel money. And I was like, wait, what? But then I kind of dug a little bit more and you see where it came from. And then you can kind of understand the power play. And, it's like playing poker, you don't just jump right all in because you're holding, the full flush shit, the royal flush. You don't just, you just sit there and you act like you ain't got shit. Well, you figure he got in because the Israel money, come to find out, is what they did is he pulled it from the IRS fund, which was that money that they wanted, that they backdoored in for the 87,000 agents. So basically, and if you'll remember the battle at first, they came up with 87. Well, then the Republicans got the House and they were going to cut the purse strings, but then it got added into this other bill and it got pushed through. So then they were going to supposedly still get it. We'll see. Now and when you look at the overall play, it's like, oh, wait a minute. So that means that Johnson dude, they were playing this pretty cool because the minute he gets in, he's like, okay, oh, look, we have this. We'll use this. Don't let a crisis go to waste.
Right.
Israel fired off. We're not getting you these IRS agents. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take money that you were given for that. We're going to take it out of that and we're going to give that to Israel. So then you kind of go, okay, I wish you would be able to do some other things because I'm just kind of like an instant gratification kind of person, but I get the overall big play. So in a way, it's a good thing.
Right. Yep. What's that part of the aggravation is watching how long it takes to move the chess pieces around on the board up there, especially when it comes to doing something that's good and moral. It seems like it takes twice as many steps as it does for them to do the corrupt shit up there.
Exactly. Well, see, and there's another good reminder by going through some of the basic Constitution courses from Hillsdale. One of the nice little reminders you'll get as you listen to these is this was all by design too. This was part of the design of the founders with the three branches, and the way that they intermingle is so that nothing can change drastically. What they've been doing right now has been drastic because they basically have been breaking laws that were not intended to be broken. We have to fix that part. But overall, this we weren't set up so somebody could just walk in there and a Walmart and all of a sudden it's like, nope, every store's closing at 6 p.m. That's that. Boom. And it's uniform automatically. The country wasn't designed that way. It was designed it might cause some ripples and waves and rough times, but it's not going to flip us upside down. There's going to be there's time in the wave that we can correct it if we want to. And I think right now we're at the peak of that wave. We can correct it if we can get enough focus. Otherwise, it'll be lost.
Yeah. Yep.
And I guess I lost rank.
Get more right.
I held him out too long. He passed out on me.
Who's that?
Rank 2000. My buddy from Australia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I done mentioned his name a couple of times, Chad, and he ain't responded yet, so I imagine he must have nodded out.
Yeah. Sun's down on that side of the earth right now. Yep. So we can open it up to charge them up because they ain't existing no more than they used to do on Trump.
Well, I got to say, there's people.
I'm gonna have to get off of here, brother.
All right, brother. Well, hell, I
I got
appreciate
to
you
get
hanging out,
to
Pops.
remodeling. I got to get to remodeling this bathroom.
Man,
Yeah, I'm
we've been
remodeling the bathroom in here in our house, and I'm
Oh, what you gonna
putting
put
a
in?
shower in, like a walk-in shower.
Oh, look at you.
Right now, I'm doing the shower part. I've already tiled the floor, and I've run a chair rail border of plank boards around the bottom, and I'm now putting in the customized shower. There's going to be a
So
tile walk-in shower with one of those overhead rain type
yeah.
shower heads.
Hey, did you do one of those lead pan type inserts and then tile inside the lead pan, or what'd you use for your base?
No, what I'm using for my base is I'm building a custom, which I'll put down like a cement sloped floor, and then I'm going to run what they call a sluice system, and it's out of. Have you seen any of those sluice systems that they put in?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you're
it's
so you're
real
doing
simple.
concrete as your
Yeah.
foundation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've
See, that's
double
what's it's
strengthened
kind
my
of
floor underneath it.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
unusual
yeah.
here.
So
See,
that
I'm on
way I can
blocks.
build my.
Concrete here.
Yeah, so I can slope my drain down. So
there you go. Around here, a lot of people,
yeah,
because it's on blocks, a lot of people will use the lead pans. So you'll frame in your base and then use the lead pan in there, and then you'll go in there with your tile and do your pattern up to that your little drip edge, and then of course you got your wall board from there. But that little base part, because that lead will help flex a little bit, and since houses are on blocks, then it shifts. I can't do anything right now with mine because the bathroom ain't level. We want to, because I really need to before I get so bad that I can't even get in the bathroom.
That's kind of way these sluice. That's the way these sluice systems. Right. That's the way these sluice systems do. They it's a membrane that's flexible, but it's solid, and you lay it down. It's a different type of membrane you lay down on the floor than you put up on the walls, but you kind of like seal it in all together with another type membrane tape and some of the sealant. But you get all this stuff laid, and then you just lay your towel up against it, and it's just another way that kind of keeps it flexible through all of it. You know what I mean? Especially on the floor system.
Hell yeah. I need to do
all
that.
Right, brother. Well, I'm going to get out of here. Like I said, I got to get to working on it, and I appreciate you having me up.
Hey,
Chat,
be safe.
have a
Keep
great
your head on the
weekend.
swivel. Appreciate you, Papas. Be safe, brother.
All right. Later, everybody. Thank you, brother.
All righty, later, Yankee. Make it a good day. Miss Ellen, make it a good day. Sounds like you were doing a good job. I usually remember you then tied over. Turn the whole bathroom into a walk-in shower. Oh, wow, Michigan. Yeah, see, that would be nice, man. I wish, I don't know. My life is full of a wish list nowadays. Like I said, the best thing I can tell anybody, best recommendation would be the next time you come home from somewhere, you stop at the end of your driveway just as you turn in off the main road, and you stop right there, and you realize from what would happen one day from here on if you couldn't walk around, you had to be in a chair. And then kind of just overlook how you do your day-to-day shit. And boy, what an eye opener. What an eye opener. Yes. And then I would adjust to that, because you never know what's going to happen, man. Chimonena says exactly what you can't stand the Q nut jobs. When I shared info of anything opposing Culty Blind Faith and Nasara. Oh yeah, that weird stuff there, how we're all going to get money, and it's like, whatever, I just don't even get how it works. But found a biblical comparison eye-opening. I gotta say, that whole I don't know much about that Gasser or whatever. All I know, it's just that universal pay stuff. It's just like, okay, you just don't understand how things work. It just doesn't work that way. So that's the kind of people that think the federal government makes money, and that the money that they spend is actually money that they make, and they don't understand the whole tax association and the marketing thing, and they don't. So let's see, where is that's said about right. Okay, I could do that. Here, we'll just listen to this for a minute.
Got to be a little bit crazy. Oh yeah. Ooh, got to be a little bit crazy. Oh yeah. Ooh, got to be a little bit crazy. Ooh, got to be a little bit crazy. Oh yeah. Crazy kind
Okay, sorry, I wasn't ignoring y'all in chat. I was just chilling. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. And okay, so what you got? Let's see. I saw Miss Bonnie said something about hello, rescue and everyone. So you think today will stand out, 5th of November. For stand out for what? Welcome back, Miss TJ. Tried to move some huge branches with my mower and they didn't budge. I guess I'm going to have to burn them in place. Come here. Well, or can you cut them up a little bit smaller, TJ, and then move them? Let's see. Miss Sophie's headed out. I got to head out to Rural King before it gets much later. If you're still going when I get home, I'll be back. If not, have a beautiful day. Chat. Be well and take care. All righty, Miss Sophie. Yeah, probably won't be. I might shut it off here shortly. And, but hey, you be careful. And I really do hope y'all get to feeling better. Drink plenty of fluids and get you some rest. That give your body time to heal. And take care, ma'am. Much love. Who loves you, baby? Anything. Oh, be remembered for anything? I don't know. Well, I don't know. The day ain't over. But I think yesterday was kind of an interesting day, but luckily nothing serious happened. But they had some serious size protest stuff with some of the pro-terrorist group people. And I know that we have 3 more days till we get to the 8th of November, which has kind of got a little military remembrance to it. The grass grew up around them, and I really can't see where to cut. Huh. Can you pull them a little sideways and break them loose? Like instead of trying to pull them end out, pull it sideways maybe first, and it'll break up the hold that it kind of has. Then again, I'm kind of crazy that way, so you just kind of can get the run and go at it. I mean, I don't know if you caught that particular episode, but I know Kiss Off was screaming at me because I tipped the chicken coop up on its side. That's when I was trying to pull the tarp over it with the mower. Hey, I got it there. Which I guess, I was hoping Rank was still around. It's kind of curious to see what he had come up with. Him and his drawing self. Ah, got you. A sharpened up machete and just kind of whack along at the edges of them. Either chop limbs and weeds or all at once. But then again, if you burn it where it is, it won't do no harm. I mean, it'll just, those ashes will go into the soil. It'll help next year. Hillsdale College online. I would definitely check that out. Let's see. I think I still got that. Do I still got it? Yeah. There we go. Put that link again. Oh, Cheryl, he was working on a thing. So earlier I was showing, I'm trying to maybe come up with this as like a little logo for me. And then in the middle, having a rooster's head and stuff. Well, I think he was working on drawing something up, but then I think he fell asleep. Live oak is really tough. That's hard wood. Well, granddaughter is ready to keep me busy. I hope to see y'all tonight at Indies. Oh, are you going live tonight? What is tonight? Tonight's Sunday. It's not Monday. You doing a Sunday thing? That'll be cool. Well, all righty, Miss Bonnie. Well, you make it a good day, ma'am, and enjoy your granddaughter time. You can't go wrong with the granddaughters. Kind of missed. We hadn't seen ours this weekend. Hope maybe next weekend. She's always something else. But it was a good thing she didn't come over this weekend. I felt bad, didn't want her to get sick. I wouldn't want to give this crud to her. But I would say, guys, anybody that, check out the Hillsdale College. It's free. You can sign up. You can take courses on all different kinds of stuff. But I would recommend the Constitution, just getting a basic understanding. And when I say a basic understanding from a general consensus, not with a certain narrative behind it, but just here's the historical fact of the Constitution, and kind of get out of the today's foo-ha-ha and all the rhetoric and all the bullshit. And, I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be a good refresher. It'd put things in perspective, kind of help give some hope and some motivation. Because we're here till we're not. And so we might as well do something positive and something for the betterment while we're here. We get the foundation of our country back, our moral compass back. And that way we can help that ball rolling back to the righteous side for our grandkids. And for the ones that aren't even here yet. Man, people start throwing in the towel or getting lost sitting on the bench watching side stuff. You're letting it get worse for generations that ain't even here yet. So we see it screwed up. Let's fix it. People that say they can't be fixed, it's just because they become too complacent and they're too spoiled in where they are right now to realize just how great this country was, and can be again. That's just my 2 cents. Hey, it's a Sunday. So, it's 12:30 Central Time. Make the day a good day. The choice is all up to you. It's all in your perspective. Take a deep breath. You're here, blessed with another day. Do something positive with it. Somebody will probably smile along the way. You know what I'm saying? It's too bad we didn't see the old man today. Maybe he'll go live this evening or something. Maybe we'll see him. But hey, make it a good day, y'all. You know, appreciate y'all hanging out. Hopefully you got a little something out of it. Bring a smile to your face, give you something to think about. Learn a little something. Peace.
I ain't here tomorrow. If the good Lord says it's my time to go, I don't see that morning sunset. There's some things I need for you to know. The truck is yours if you want it. It'll run forever if you treat it right. When you think of me on some back road, that's because I'm right there by your side. Chase your dreams until you catch on. Leave your doubts in a cloud of dust. You can't ever love too big. You can't call your mom too much. Do your best to get it right. Forgive yourself when you don't. Hope you don't forget how much I love you. I ain't here tomorrow. Don't let life turn bitter. Don't be ashamed to bow your head. Take it easy on the liquor. Remember what it did to your granddad. Yeah, you're gonna get your heart broke, but a couple of tears don't make you weep. Gonna find that girl God made just for you. Knows what he's doing, wait and see. Chase your dreams until you catch on. Leave your doubts in a cloud of dust. You can't ever love too big. You can't call your mom too much. Do your best to get it right. Forgive yourself when you don't. Hope you don't forget how much I love you. I ain't here tomorrow.
Hey everybody, make it a good day. Choice is up to you. I saw you come in, Moose. I know you're here. Appreciate you, brother. Nikki, and I see you're on your way home. I appreciate you. It's been 3.5 hours. So be careful going home.
Raise your babies by the book and keep my picture in your wallet. Keep your car keys on a hook. Do your best to get it right. Forgive yourself when
I don't know how fancy mine are.
Please don't ever forget how much I love.
Mine ain't very fancy.
I ain't here tomorrow.
It is. Mine are just this is me, and yours are yours. And I guess everybody likes them. But I appreciate everybody being here. Nikki, y'all be careful. I'll look to see if you go live, and I'll listen in. I appreciate y'all. Y'all take care. Make it a good day. Be safe. Keep your head on a swivel. Peace.